What is up, everybody? It's your brother Shema with Ancient Watchman. Welcome back to Friday Night, MaYaM. Shalom. Welcome to the live. Stick around. We have a good one. Hang tight. Shalom. Yeah, man. Today we're gonna go over what is the meaning behind the Torah law that states that we're not supposed to be wearing mixed clothing, as in linen and cotton, right? So we're gonna go into that, and we're gonna understand. We're gonna give you the understanding of what that means, because once again, you have a lot of brothers that are following the commandments, quote unquote. They don't even understand what they're even following, right? So a lot of brothers are following the commandments at a carnal level, at a one-dimensional level. So today we're gonna give you the understanding of what it means to not wear mixed clothing, right? Linen and cotton, just like the Torah says. What does that mean? How do we keep that commandment? So on and so forth. But stick around. Shalom. Welcome to live. Yeah, man. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Welcome to the live. Welcome to live. This is your brother Shema with Ancient Watchman. Welcome to Friday Night, MaYaM. I'm gonna wait for more brothers to join in, and then we're gonna get started. But um, before we go into the class, right? Before we go into the class, there's things going on in the world, bro. Like this whole marching into the Capitol and all this other bullshit that took place, a couple days ago, a few days ago, so on and so forth. So, hold on. Yeah, man. Let me see. Let me read this passage real quick out of the OSP Bible, Book of Judgment, chapter 34, verses 8 and 9. It says, when a government no longer filleth the grade according to the advancement of the people, behold, thy God withdraweth his heavenly protection from the government, and straightway the people run into anarchy. And that's exactly what happened, right? It says, lay not the blame of anarchy and revolution and assassinations on the people. My judgment is against the government in all cases. These conditions of vengeance are but the fruit resulting from the governments, you see, divergence from the will of the Most High and the march of his light. And that's exactly what took place. That's exactly what's going on with this government that was established on the side of the world through means of blood and genocide and suffering against the Shemitic tribes, the nations of the indigenous people on the Western Hemisphere, on the side of the world, so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, indigenous people that were here before these colonizers came on the side of the world, right? So it's what's going on. Obviously, we know that the Mosai brings judgments against all nations, and so it's why we read in the scriptures that they're gonna be paid double for what they've done, right? So they're experiencing what we experience, right? The unjust laws and all these injustice that took place on the side of the world, post colonization times, 1492 and on. So a lot of the white folks are experiencing the same thing, just like our people experience. They're experiencing the same thing. Why? Because judgments are going forth, and they're paying double for the sins that they committed against human beings, especially the Shemitic tribes. So, but shalom, everybody. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Stick around, man. Mix. Mix. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Stick around once again. We have a good one, bro. I'm not gonna take too long, but I just want to share that understanding to with you, brothers, to make you understand what it means when it talks about that we're not supposed to wear mixed clothing, right? What does that mean? What is the understanding behind that, right? Because once again, you have a lot of brothers that come into the so-called truth, and they immediately want to start keeping the commandments, right? The so-called laws, statutes, and commandments, without understanding the spiritual significance behind the commandments themselves. You know what I'm saying? So stick around. Shalom. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. It's your brother Shemai with Ancient Watchman. Once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Uh, you know, we have a Facebook group called Guardians of Truth right here. Brothers can join. We're also on Instagram, Ancient dot Watchman, right? And obviously, we have our YouTube channel that you brothers can subscribe to. And don't forget to hit the notifications option so that you guys know when we go live or when we drop a video, when we upload a video, and so on and so forth. But welcome to the live. Shalom. Shalom. So yeah, man. Let me see. Yeah, man. Like I was saying, this whole government is a joke, right? Obviously, you guys know what happened, what took place in the year 2020, which we're still in the year 2020 according to Hebrew calendar. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, we know that through memes, the modern society is being educated on certain things and subjects and knowledge and esoteric knowledge and mysteries and whatever the like and news. So memes is basically the new form or the new way to communicate with the populace nowadays. So obviously, right, you have a lot of um, millions of people paying taxes in order to keep secure these places, the Capitol Hill and all these places in Washington D.C. and so on and so forth. But in less than 5 hours, you have a bunch of clowns that took over the place. You know what I'm saying? but people spend millions of dollars to protect the Capitol Hill, to protect Washington D.C., to protect the White House. And meanwhile, you have a lot of these Donald Trump supporters, right? You have a lot of these hilly billy type individuals basically going into the White House, going into the Capitol Hill, and invading the place, right, without any repercussions. But if it would have been the other way around, if it would have been Hispanics or Native Americans or so-called blacks going into the Capitol Hill, it would have been a bloodbath, right? It would have been like a genocide. The police would have been shooting the so-called Hispanics going into the Capitol. But since it was a bunch of white folks, a bunch of white, what do you call it, hilly billy types, nobody said anything, right? Nobody said anything, which tells us what? That this government is nothing more than hypocrites, right? They're operating in a spirit of hypocrisy, right? Once again, going back to last year when Donald Trump went ahead and assassinated one of the top diplomats or officials from the government of Iran. You guys remember that when they went ahead and shot the man in the streets? But if Iran would have done the same thing and come to the United States and committed a crime in such level, it would have been World War III. The United States would have lost their minds and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that the United States, its government that has been established on this side of the world, bro, it was established in hypocrisy, blood, sweat, tears of so-called Native Americans, indigenous people. So uh, when you order at night at the museum from Wish, you see now I don't know if you guys watch, but this dude he had an interview with one of the reporters, and he was claiming to be a shaman. Now, for him to be called a shaman, it's a shameful thing, bro, for the things he's done and the way he has moved about going into the capital and all sort of things. Shit, Shalom says, "Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you guys saw the interview, but he was saying that he's a shaman and that he's able to traverse from one dimension to the other one, this and that and the third. But it's a shame. It's a sad thing because there's nothing of a shaman about this dude at all. Why? Because he's an actor. He's being paid to go to these rallies and marchings and all sort of things in order to create what we call psychological operations, right? That's basically what's going on, and a lot of people are believe by these whole psychological operations that are basically brainwashing the people and uh, destroying the minds of the people. Once again, memes, right? Capital warfare, call of duty. You know what I'm saying? It's all making a mockery of their movement, making a mockery of the United States itself and the government itself and the security, so-called security that's in these places, right? That is supposed to be in these places, high level government places, right? Again, you have a lot of millions of individuals that pay taxes in order to quote unquote protect these high level government houses and places and so on and so forth. And obviously you have on one side you have the Shemitic tribes that are coming on their own country. Meanwhile, you have a lot of these white folks that are emotionally unstable, throwing a tantrum, an emotional tantrum, because they didn't get their way. Obviously, whether or not there was a fraud in the election, that's not really up to us, right? Because first of all, this place, the United States, is not a monarch. It's not a democracy, bro. A lot of people have been sold to the idea that the United States is a democratic place, and it's not. The United States is a republic, first and foremost, right? So again, you have the Viking dude photographed this morning with Voss married to Pelosi's daughter, right? So that lets you know right there that this whole thing is a joke. It's nothing more than like a circus. entertainment, right? To keep the masses at bay. Again, you have the same dude, the Viking, in the Black Lives Matter movement in June in Arizona, right there. And then we have him in January, right? It's the same dude, and we're gonna find out uh, uh, what is his background, what does he do for a job, right? It's right there. See, skills, accents and dialects, singing, acting, techniques, writing, voiceover, public speaking, writing, screenwriting. You see, so this dude is an actor. This is not a real shaman, bro. He's not a real shaman, right? Again, 740 billions a year for defense, and freaking Dog Dynasty takes over in 15 minutes. You see how of a joke this whole thing is. This place, right, the Capitol Hill, is supposed to be one of the most guarded places in in this country, right? Yet you have a lot of these dudes, these hillybilly type individuals that took over in less than 2 3 hours, bro. You know what I'm saying? So again, we have the same individual, Jake Angeli, actor, voice over artist, singer. You see, 2020 will go down as the craziest weird year of your life. 2021, hold my beer. You see, and the audacity for them to go into the seat of the senators and all these other things. Now, I'm not defending their building. I'm not none of that, right? Because once again, we understand that. Uh, what links is? I don't know what you're talking about. What link? Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. We're gonna get started in a minute. I just want to touch on these real quick, and then we're gonna get started with the class. But welcome to the live. So yeah, man. So there it is, right there. You see, you have the orange guy was worried that Mexicans climbing the walls, right? But the audacity, right? They're the ones that are climbing the walls, and so on and so forth. But it's all a joke, man. It's this place is a joke. This United States, it's a spell, bro. It's like it's full of injustices and mockeries, bro, and demons and unclean spirits all over the place, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of time before their own kingdom falls into pieces, just like the rest of the other kingdoms back in ancient times, right? And it's like every kingdom on this planet is risen up in order to be brought down, just like the kingdom of Egypt, just like the kingdom of Babylon, just like the kingdom of Persia, just like the kingdom of the Greeks, just like the kingdom of the Romans, bro. It was lifted up in order to be brought down. And that's exactly what's going on with the so-called United States, aka Babylon the Great. It's just a matter of time before these plays is brought into judgment, right? So every Latino face right now, you see. um, but yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say. So let's get started with the class. Hold on, stick around, Shalom. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. All right. We're gonna get started, bro. We're gonna get started into the class. Welcome to the live once again. This is the Ancient Watchman. We're gonna go into the mixing of clothing or mixing um, of fabrics. We read that. We're gonna go into the scriptures. We're gonna give you the understanding. What does that mean? What is it really telling us, right? because once again you have a lot of brothers that are coming into this truth, and they immediately go into the keeping of the commandments, but a lot of them don't understand the spiritual significance or symbolism behind a lot of the commandments that they're keeping. And, and I'll give you guys one example. A while ago when I did a podcast on the menorah and the so-called Feast of Lights, right? The rededication of the temple, so on and so forth. Shalom, Jeremiah. Shalom, welcome to the life. So I give you guys the understanding behind the menorah and what it means. What does it entail? Is it just us putting up a menorah on our table, so on and so forth? So it's the same thing with a lot of the laws that we have in the that we read of in the Torah, right? Um, that a lot of our people are, trying to keep or pretending to keep the commandments and so on and so forth, but they're keeping the commandments at a one level dimension, right? They're not applying the that commandment or that law, and applying it to their spiritual walk, to their journey. They're just doing it out of um, out of necessity. They're doing it because it was told to them to do it. But a lot of them don't understand why they're keeping the commandments. So today we're gonna give you the understanding behind, the mixing of fabrics that we read of in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 11, Leviticus 19:19, so on and so forth. Shalom. Mind of Joshua. Shalom. Gonna be getting at the Canaanite kings. All right, Randy. Shalom, bro. Welcome to the live. Welcome to live. Shalom, everybody. Mind of Joshua. I don't understand what you're saying, bro. Once again, the link is in um, chat group in the chat room for any brothers that want to join in later on. So we're gonna get started in a minute. Give me a minute before I want to share the link. Shalom, welcome to the live. All right. So before I go into the mixing of fabrics and what it means, what does it entail, what is the spiritual significance behind all of that? Um, let's kind of go into the Shabbat. Like, let's go into the Shabbat and what is the Shabbat, right? What is the Shabbat? Let me read this real quick. It says the 20th century Jewish theologian Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel poetically articulates the notion of Shabbat as a cathedral in time, right? A place in time rather than a space in which we develop the practices of sacred rest. In other words, us allowing ourselves, right, to enter into a mindset of completeness, right? Um, you have a lot of brothers, you have a lot of people that want to keep the commandments, want to keep the Shabbat, but they're not really entering into a rest. They're not really entering into a mindset of completeness of rest, right? So now, um, what does that mean? What does the Shabbat entail, right? Because the Shabbat entails for us to have what? Shalom, right? Right. So to keep the Shabbat means that we're entering into a shalom, right? A shalom means, which means what? A rest, right? But the word shalom or shalom or shalom, it goes beyond the understanding of us just not doing anything or not doing any type of work or not cooking on the Shabbat, which I give you guys the understanding of when it talks about thou shalt not kindle the fire, right? You have a lot of brothers that are like, well, brother, you're not supposed to heat up your coffee, or you're not supposed to heat up your food, or this and that third. Well, thou shalt not kindle the fire. What does that mean? What is the word for fire in the Hebrew, right? I give you guys the understanding. I give you guys the understanding, like the whole thou shalt not kindle the fire. Well, the word fire means asha, ashar, right? Ashar. What do you mean, ashar? Ash. My bad. Ash, right? Ash. That's what it means. Fire. Now, the word ash, it means to the destruction or the consummation of what, right? Now, we know that if thou shalt not kindle the fire is talking about it in a physical sense, then everybody's breaking the Shabbat every seventh day. Why? Because your brain itself, your neurons itself, they're creating fire within your brain every single time, right? Because you have your neurons, you have your synapses. The neurons are creating electricity within your brain. So when it talks about thou shalt not kindle the fire, well, you're kindling the fire within your brain every Shabbat. So what does that really mean? To that thou shalt not kindle the fire, right, on the Shabbat. Malak, shalom, bro. Welcome to live. Yishai, shalom, bro. Welcome to live. Welcome to live, everybody. So yeah, so going back to what I was saying earlier, right? The 20th century Jewish theologian Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel poetically articulates the notion of Shabbat as a cathedral, right? Like a church, like a temple in time, right? A place and time rather than a space in which we develop the practices of sacred rest, sacred shalom, right? So, what is this sacred shalom? Which allows us to enter into a mindset of completeness, right? So, in order to understand, like, the actual Shabbat and the shalom that we enjoy within the Shabbat itself, we have to understand what it means to rest, right? So, let's break down the word shalom, right? You have the word shalom, right? Now the word shalom is composed of three Hebrew letters, right? We have the sha, the la, and the ma. Now the word sha, obviously, I always bring this out all the time. The word sha means teeth, right? And then teeth are used to what? To use to consume food or to destroy that which we have in our mouths, right? The word la, it's a staff, right? Staff, which is the voice of authority. Let me see. There's another meaning out of this book, bro. See, I had that book. I bought it because brothers know I'm learning the Hebrew in order to understand more of what the scriptures is really saying to us, bro. There it is. Hold on. All right. Shalom. Welcome to the light, everybody. Welcome to the light. All right. So right there, you see the la. So it means Torah, the staff was used to push or pull one of the flock in a direction. Authority, right? The staff is as a sign of the shepherd's authority, right? And then obviously you brothers know that the staff, like the Hebrew letter of the staff, is this one right here, and it has a hook. The hook was used for the ancient shepherds to basically save their goats or their sheep, especially when they fell in a hole or whatever the like, right? So that's basically it also means savior. It means to save. But it says a yoke, a staff on the shoulders of the oxen for directing. You see, bind, tie from the fastening of the yoke. So that's what it means. So like going back to the breaking down on the Hebrew word, the word shalom or shalom. So once again, the staff means the voice of authority, right? Staff, right there, law. And the ma, right, means waters. It means waters of chaos, confusion, and death, right? So we have the word shalom, right? Shalom, shalom, right? Uh, Shalom, right? Now, the Shabbat, what is the Shabbat? The Shabbat allows us to enter into what? Complete stillness, right? Or shalom. Now, when we translate this word, this complete word, shalom, to consume, to destroy, the voice of authority, waters of chaos and confusion and death, right? Now, when we translate this whole word, right, it means to crush and to destroy the voice of authority that is causing chaos, confusion, and death within our minds, right? Within our minds. Let's see, within our minds. right, within our minds. So so when we uh keep the Shabbat, we're literally entering into a shalom state, a cathedral of time, right? Some sort of like, it's like a spiritual bubble. It's a spiritual bubble and of stillness and calmness, and as we read it earlier, um, um, allowing oneself to enter into a mindset of completeness, right? A mindset of completeness, meaning a mindset of true shalom, right? True shalom, which means to crush and destroy the voice of authority that is causing chaos, confusion, and death within our minds, right? That's what it means to actually be keeping the Shabbat. Why? Because what is the whole point of us keeping the Shabbat if we haven't learned ourselves how to enter into these rest, into these shalom, right? Into this bubble in time, right? What is the whole point? So to keep the Shabbat, to keep the true Shabbat, is to crush and destroy the voice of authority that is causing chaos and confusion and death within our minds. That's the true Shabbat that we're supposed to learn how to keep. Being able to enter in our minds and our spiritual selves into this, bubble. It's like a bubble, like a bubble, like a cathedral in time, like just like we read in Ezekiel 11:16, right? As a matter of fact, let's read that real quick. I can find my Bible. Shalom, everybody. Welcome to the life. Oh, all right, so yeah, so we're talking about, you know, entering into complete stillness as we enter into a state of shalom, right? A state of destroying everything that's chaotic within our minds, right? That's the true keeping of the Shabbat, as we enter ourselves into true shalom, right? Which means that to crush and destroy the voice of authority that is causing chaos, confusion, and death within our minds, right? Now, where is this sanctuary, right? Well, we're gonna read Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16. It says, therefore say, thus say the Lord God, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. You see, so the Alahayim, right? He is, or they are, our sanctuary, right? This place, this cathedral in time, in which we enter into true shalom, right? Into true shalom. See, right there. We enter into true shalom, right? So that's we have to learn how to enter into complete stillness, right? Into complete a mindset of completeness or stillness and calmness, right? Well, we won't be able to enter into this true Shabbat, right? Because everybody can keep the Shabbat and not do work and all sort of things, right? But beyond all that, beyond the physical aspects of us keeping the Shabbat, we have to understand what true shalom means within the Shabbat itself, which is what? To crush and destroy the voice of authority that is causing chaos, confusion, and death in our minds, right? Which is this whole thing, shalom, right? Shah, teeth, Allah, staff, and the mom, or mem, which means waters, right? So all of that is a combination of the true understanding of the true rest within the Shabbat itself, right? The day of rest, the so-called 7th day, which is the day of perfection, in which we perfect that mindset, the true shalom, the true mindset of destroying the voice of authority that is causing confusion and death and worries and tensions and anxieties within our minds, right? And Mosai has already provided those little sanctuaries, these little cathedrals in time, right, where we can enjoy the true shalom. So now let's go into the class. I just wanted to point that out because again, you have a lot of brothers that are carnally minded. They still don't understand what it means to keep the true Shabbat, right? A lot of people are still in these carnalities, these one-dimensional understandings behind the Shabbat. So, yeah. So let's go into the lesson, man. Let's go into the lesson. We're gonna read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 11. 22, verse 11. All right. So we're gonna read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 11. It says, "Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together." You see. So now the question is this, right? The question is this: how many of you brothers are actually wearing mixed clothing right now, right? How many of you are wearing mixed clothing, right? I'm sure some of you are. Now, I'm not saying this out of judgment. I'm not judging anybody here, but in order to understand, you know, the scriptures in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 11, right? It says, "Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of wool and linen together." You see. So what does that mean, right? Because once again, I can tell perhaps that some of you are wearing mixed clothing right now. You have mixed fabrics that you guys are wearing, that you guys go to when you go to buy clothing for yourselves. You probably are buying mixed fabrics, and you guys don't even know it. So according to the law, you guys are breaking the law. I'm breaking the law, so on and so forth. But what does that mean? What does it really entail? Not to wear mixed fabrics, right? So we're gonna go into that. Stick around. Shalom. Welcome to live. Welcome to live. All right. Now we know that we read Deuteronomy 22 verse 11 when it says that we're not supposed to be wearing mixed fabrics, right? Linen and wool. Now we know that in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, what is it, 28, verse 6 and 8, chapter 30, what is it, 30, 39, I believe, verse 4 and 5, where you have the ephod of the high priest was made of linen and dyed threads. Now, the dyed threads that we read of in the book of Exodus, chapter 28, verses 6 and 8, basically the whole chapter of Exodus, chapter 28, we read of the ephod that was made up of mixed fabric. So what is the whole point? Is Torah itself, what would you call it? Is Torah itself contradicting itself, right? Because that's basically what it appears like. So, but we're gonna give you understanding, right? We're gonna give you understanding. So stick around. Right. So I was saying, right? I was talking about the ephod right now. Hold on. Let me give you some visuals before we get started. Now, the ephod, right? That's the ephod right there. Now, the ephod. Once again, we're gonna read it out of Exodus chapter 28, right? We're gonna read it and we're gonna find out that the ephod was of a mixed fabric itself. So the question is Torah contradicting itself, right? That's the question. So Exodus chapter 28, verse 6, it says, "And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work." You see, it's right there. Now we know that the dye garments, right? These ones right here, they are of mixed fabrics. They're linen and wool. So why are we reading in the book of what is it, Deuteronomy chapter 20, what is it, 22, verse 11, that we're not supposed to be wearing mixed garments or mixed fabrics, right? So once again, let's read it again. Book of Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 11. It says, "Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of wool and linen together." You see, yet we are reading, in the book of Exodus, chapter 28, verses 6 and 8, that the Levites were wearing a mixed garment. So what's going on? What is going on? Right? What is going on? That is the question. Now, uh, let me see. We know that the priests, like the priestly line, like the Levites, the sons of, the sons of, the sons of Aaron and so on and so forth. They were appointed to be the priests, right? They were appointed to be a holy people, like separated from the tribes. As a matter of fact, you guys know that the law, they were supposed to only marry virgin women, right? Because they were supposed to be considered like the holy people. They were the priests. Basically, they were the intermediate, what the mediators between mankind and God, right? That's basically what a high priest is, right? A mediator between God and man. And this is why we always battle against these Old Testament Israelites, talking about Christ. Why is Christ the mediator? Well, you have the Levites, high priest, being a mediator between mankind and God Himself. So what is the difference, right? There's no difference. We've always had mediators. We've always had saviors back in ancient times. So yeah, so mix. You have the priests that were commanded to wear this ephod. This is the ephod right here. Now the ephod had these tumim and urim. Now, for brothers that don't understand, these two stones up here were basically used for divination, right? They were used for divinations, as we're gonna go into that in a minute. But um, so yeah, so even when we read in the book of Exodus chapter 30, right, we're gonna go into that. Uh, right. Yeah, exactly, bro, exactly. So and once again, I brought this out before, when we talked about the 12 gems, right? These 12 gems are representing the 12 tribes of Israel in its various phenotypes and genotypes. Why? Because the 12 gems represent the 12 tribes, right? Not only that, but the 12 gems are not the same. They're all different, which also gives us that scripture when we talked about in Jeremiah that the 12 tribes are what are a speckled bird, meaning a nation of various different types and phenotypes and genotypes, textures of hair and colors of skin, right? So that also is also what it means. As a matter of fact, I think there is a scripture in the Apocrypha where it talks about that the priest had the 12 tribes in his chest, meaning in right here in the ephod, right? He was carrying the 12 tribes in his bosom. That's basically what it means. I don't remember what the scripture said, but if any of you brothers know, you guys can post it on the chat group, on the chat room. Otherwise, I'm gonna see if I can find it. But yeah, so that's basically what it means. So not only did the Levites were um, were uh, were wearing mixed fabrics, right, linen and wool, which is against Torah, right? Why? Because that law that we read of in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 21 verse 22 verse 11 is referring to the actual people, the people that were not priests, like the regular people, the non-priestly lines. But the priests themselves, they were commanded to use specific clothing types, especially the high priest, right? And so this ephod right here, this is the ephod. The ephod was mixed with linen and gold and scarlet and blue, right? Special made ephod. So these garments were specifically, this law was specifically only geared towards the priest. But the law that we read of in Romans chapter 20, 22 verse 11, it was talking about the people, the non-priestly line. So now, even in the book of Exodus chapter 30, right? Let's get that real quick. Hold on. Welcome to live. Shalom, everybody. Welcome to live. All right. So I was saying, right? So, uh, 30. Right. So just like the priests, um, you know, were excused from the law of Deuteronomy chapter 28 of not wearing mixed fabrics. Well, the priests were wearing mixed fabrics, just like we read of in the book of Exodus chapter 28 verse 6 and 8, right? The ephod was made of mixed fabrics. And so just like we have that law that is pertaining to the Levites, and that they're allowed to be wearing mixed garments, and we're gonna go into why, right? So we also have a law for the Levites for a specific oil that was used to anoint the sons of Aaron, right? We read that in the book of Exodus, chapter 30, verse 31. It says, "And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These shall be an holy anointed oil unto me as throughout your generations. Upon men's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it." You see, after the composition of it, it is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. You see, so obviously that specific oil was used to anoint the sons of Aaron only, right? That oil was specific only for the sons of Aaron. It was made of cannabis, which means cannabis, right? Cannabis or weed. So stick around. We're gonna drive this home. We're gonna drive this home. So hold on. So um the linen, right? The linen that we read of and the wool, right? Now, what is the difference between the linen and the wool, right? Because we read on in Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 11 that we're not supposed to be wearing mixed fabrics, meaning linen and wool. Now, the linen was made up from fibers contained in the stack of the flax plant. We can read that in Joshua chapter 2 verse 6, right? Now, let's go to Galatians chapter 3, 24, 25. So stick around. I'm gonna drive this home. So I hope you guys are following the class. Galatians chapter 3, verse 24, 25. It says, Galatians chapter 3, verse 24. All right, Galatians chapter 3, verse 24. Um, it says, wherefore the law was our schoolmaster. You see, right here. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ, that we might be justified by faith. But after that faith is come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster. You see? So meaning what? Meaning a lot of the things, the commandments that we read of in the Old Testament, it was our schoolmaster. Like I always tell you guys, that the law, the Bible itself, is basically like the training wheels in order for us to learn how to walk in this place, in this planet, right? Basically, that's what it is, our schoolmaster, to bring us unto Christ, meaning to bring us unto the anointing, right? To bring us unto the anointing, to the elevation, that we might be justified by faith. But it says, verse 25, but after that faith is come, we are no longer under the schoolmaster, meaning when we are no longer under the things that we were reading off of back in ancient times. Why? Because all of that was pointing on to greater things, uh spiritual aspects of ourselves, of our minds, of your soul, of your mind, your spirit, your elevation, right? That's basically what it means. So now, right? um let's see, Romans chapter 14:23. I'm gonna drive it home. I'm gonna drive it home. Stick around. Shalom. Welcome to life. Welcome to the life. Welcome to life. Romans chapter 14. 14 verse 23. It says, and he that doubted is damned if he eat, because he did not of faith, for whatsoever is not of faith is sin. Now let me read a little bit above in to 4 chapters early, right? Chapter 10, verse 25 and 26. 25 and 26. Yeah, I know it seems like I'm kind of deviating from the class, bro, but I'm not. I just want to bring the scriptures out before I go into I nail the nail on the coffin, or whatever, however you guys say it. 11:26. Oh, my bad, my bad. First Corinthians, my bad. It's First Corinthians chapter 10, right? Twenty-five and 26. All right, here it is. You see, so it says, First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 25. It says, "Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no question for conscience sake." Verse 26, "For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof." Right. So now in Romans, let's read chapter 8, verse 8. Right, chapter 8, verse 8. It says, "But meat cometh us not to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse." Verse 9, "For take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak." So now what is this saying, right? What is it? Why am I reading the scriptures out, right? Because we're reading out of Torah that this whole mixing of fabrics is off, and that only the priests were allowed to wear mixed fabrics, right? In the book of Corinthians chapter 8, we're reading that a lot of our people, like especially back in those days, they were eating a lot of these meats that were being sold by the Greeks, and a lot of the Greeks were heathens, right? And a lot of these Greeks were basically, some of them had idols in their homes, right? Here it is, verse 4. uh, it says, "As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other God but one." You see, there's only one Father, one source, right? And that's a cut for a lot of these Old Testament Israelites, talking about, oh, Christ is your God, Christ is your God, which is not completely true, because we read out of the New Testament, First Corinthians chapter 8, that there's only one God, right there. But the whole point is that a lot of our people were freaking out. Oh, well, you're not supposed to be eating, especially like you have a lot of so-called Hispanics, Mexicans, so on and so forth. They buy tacos, right? And then when you go into a taco place, what do you see in those places? You have the Virgin Mary with candles, right? Don't you guys see that every day, right? Right. So verse 8 is saying, "But meat cometh us not to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. But take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak." Now the liberty is talking about us understanding the significance behind the spiritual aspects of the Torah. Now we're gonna go into the understanding of the whole thing behind um the mixed fabrics. Now before I go into that, again, I was talking about earlier, right? This whole the whole understanding behind the agreement to mim. The ephod, right? This is the ephod. The ephod had the agreement to mim. Now the agreement to mim were basically two divining stones, right? There were two divining stones, meaning what? For example, you have the kings. They would come to the priest, and the king would inquire certain things or ask certain questions, and so on and so forth. And according to the scriptures, the stones will reveal an answer as to yes or no. Now, according to the Talmudic Jewish people, right? They were saying that the stones were basically they will glow. They said that the stones will glow, and then they will form certain words or letters within the names, within the stones or gems on the pectoral right there, on the chest, right? But that's just them. That's the Talmudic understanding. I'm not saying that's what I believe. The whole point is that the agreement to mean were used to divine. They were used to divine, and as a matter of fact, we can read that in the book of second. What is it? Second Samuel. The book of First Samuel, chapter 14, verse 41. Right. Even but when you read the King James, as a matter of fact, let's read that out of the King James. Oh my God! All right, brother. Can you brothers hear me? I don't know what happened. Uh, gonna have to explain again, bro. I'm gonna have to explain again. So, anyways, what I was saying is that before I move on and drive this whole thing home, I want to explain to you guys briefly, the Riemann to meme. And the Riemann to meme were basically they were used as oracular items, right? Now, the word oracular means to provide wise and insightful counsel or prophetic predictions, including precognition of the future, inspired by deities as a form of divination, right? Now, according to the Talmudic rabbinical, what would you call it, knowledge, right? They were saying that back in those days, the Riemann to Meme were basically, two divining stones or oracles, oracular stones in order to divine. And then when you had a king or an official like a king that would come and talk to the priest about certain things or inquiring about certain things to the priest, they were saying that the stones would glow, right? The stones will glow in a certain manner to give us certain words, as to like spelling the words, and that would spell the answer to whoever was inquiring of whatever they were inquiring about. Now, in the book of what is it? The book of First Samuel chapter 14 verse 41, you have King Saul inquiring about certain things. You brothers can read the whole chapter, First Samuel chapter 14. You can read that yourselves in context. But the whole point is that in the Septuagint, it states that the Urim would indicate Saul and Jonathan about what they were inquiring about. While the Tumim, right, one of the Tumim, Urim and Tumim, while the Tumim was basically gears towards the people, you know. So, but when you read in the Septuagint, uh, quote unquote, inquired of God, the word inquired of God always respectively was referring to what? Divining objects, as the oracular objects that we are seeing here, right here, the Urim and Tumim. Now, uh you know a lot of people also speculate, and a lot of scholars also say that the Urim and Tumim were used for cleromancy. Cleromancy is a form of sortition, casting of lots, right? Random, such as rolling dice, which reveal the will of God. That's basically what it means to cast lots. Now, when we read, as a matter of fact, let me bring out that Samuel 14:41, the book of First Samuel chapter 14 verse 41. All right. So you have um, First Samuel chapter 14 verse 41. It says, "Therefore Saul said unto the Lord God of Israel, give a perfect lot. And Saul and Jonathan were taken, but the people escaped." Verse 42, and Saul said, cast lots. You see, right there. You see, right there, cast lots. Now, the word lots goes into the word cleromancy, right? The cleromancy is basically a form of sortition, of casting lots at random, such as rolling dice, which reveal the will of God. So, again, going back to what a lot of the Talmudic Jewish would believe back in ancient times, they were saying that the stones, which is completely off, it's not scripture, it's not in the Torah, but they were saying that the stones will be cast, as in like rolling the dice, and they were basically receive the answers as the stones glow to spell certain words, and that will be your answer. But the whole point is that these two stones, the gems, the Urim and Tumim, were basically divining stones to use as cleromancy or oracular, which means to provide wise and insightful counsel or prophetic predictions, including precognition of the future, inspired by deities as a form of divination. Now, going back to the mixing of the garments, right? A lot of the mixing of the garments back in ancient times were used by the heathen priests back in ancient times, like the priest of the mystery schools. For example, you have the mystery schools of Egypt, where you have a lot of the priests that were doing what? Magic. They were doing high level magic, right? Now we know that Moses, being a Levite himself, he was learned in all the wisdom of what? Of Egypt. So he understood a lot of the magical aspects, a lot of the magic mystery knowledge of the ancient mystery schools of Egypt that predate, that actually go back to the ancient Sumerians and so on and so forth. So the whole point behind a lot of these ancient priests wearing the mixed fabrics is for them to create some sort of electricity. And now you guys are gonna sound that I'm crazy, but hear me out. Hear me out. Just wait until I bring this home. So the mixing of certain garments and fabrics creates static. I don't know if you guys know. You know what? Have you, especially during the winter times, where you go to bed and there's certain garments that you're wearing that creates friction with like another type of, like, you blanket, and it creates electricity. Well, this electricity was harnessed through the certain garments, specific garments, holy garments of the ancient priests of Egypt and the ancient priests of the Sumerians, and so on and so forth, back in ancient times, for the ancient mystery schools. And they would use this sort of electricity, harness this sort of electricity, in order to divine, in order to predict, in order to create magic, and so on and so forth. And I'm gonna read this real quick before I drive this home, before you guys think I'm crazy, I'm making this up, Shamar's going off, so on and so forth, like you guys usually think. Right, now check this out. the 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 health aspects behind us not wearing mixed garments is this. Right, now check this out. It says, um the mixing of wool and linen is not healthy. The Jamison, Fawcett and Brown Bible commentary, written in 1871, asserts that the observations and research of modern science have proved that wool, when combined with linen, increases its power of passing off electricity from the body. It says, in hot climates, it brings on malignant fevers and exhausts the strength. And when passing off from the body, it meets with the heated air, inflames and excoriates like a blister, right? Ezekiel shows that wool makes the body warm as to cause sweat. So mixing two fabrics will cause imbalance to body temperature. Priests were pure and were not to wear material that will cause impurities. And it shall come to pass that when they enter into the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them, while they minister in the gates of the inner court and within. They shall have linen bonnets and upon their heads, and shall have linen breeches upon their loins. They shall not gird themselves with anything that causeth sweat. See, scientific research on electronic frequencies of the human body and different fabrics shows that the most beneficial was linen. The wool, wool, while silk had none. You see, so that is the significance aspect of us not wearing mixed fabrics, right? Why? Because it creates some sort of a static that affects your auric self. Now, watch this. Hold on. Hold on. All right. So yeah, so going back to what we were talking about, right? Like the aspects of us not wearing mixed fabrics because it creates some sort of a static electricity that affects your etheric body, your electric body, bro. Right now, check this out. This is your body, right? Your body is made up of three main layers. You have the body, you have the soul, you have the spirit, right? But outside yourself, you have various layers, right? You have once again, you have the etheric body, you have the emotional body, you have the mental body, you have the astral body, you have the etheric template, celestial body, and etheric body, right? The mental aspects. So these are various layers that are surrounding you every single day, right? And obviously, this is also one of the aspects where a lot of people don't understand that when people are not highly protected or the auric cells are not completely closed, that's when you have like what they call the demonic possession. Certain entities can attach themselves outside yourself, but there's other entities that are able to coming into yourself and possess your body. This is why you have many things, many events of demonic possession back in ancient times, even throughout the times of Christ. But the whole point is that the the what do you call it, the mixing of wool and linen is not healthy, right? Because it it increases its power passing off electricity, right, from the body. It creates some sort of unbalance within yourself and outside yourself throughout your astral bodies, right? Your mental body, your emotional body, your etheric body, and astral body, so on and so forth. So these are electric layers, bro. Why? Because yourself, the same spark of the creator is the spirit of the most high, right? The spirit of the creator. So the spirit of the Alahayim, the spirit of the most high, the father, the great spirit, as they call it, like so that spark is electricity, is pure energy, bro. You guys are pure energy. So once again, that's the understanding of the whole law that we read of in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 22, right? So again, let's read it again. Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 11, it says, thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together. You see why? Because of the same thing of creating electricity, or passing off electricity, creating an imbalance within your layers, your your outside layers, outside your body, outside your physical self. So right there. So it's not just us not you know wearing um mixed fabrics. It's more than that, bro. It has to do with um with your body, with your mental state, with your emotional state. It affects all of that. Now, I think I showed you guys before. Remember, when you go outside and it's windy as hell, you're supposed to stay inside. Why? Because all that wind that is rushing through your body is basically your body is absorbing all the negative ions in the air, like the electricity, like the electrons, right? So when you're outside and it's windy as hell, you're absorbing all the electricity, bro. Is why you have a lot of the rabbits, a lot of the furry animals. They never come out when it's windy as hell. Why? Because they're furry. Imagine them being outside and all the wind rushing through their hair, their furry bodies, and whatever they like. They're gonna be charged. They're gonna be overcharged with electricity so much more that is gonna affect your mental state, your physical self. Is why you have a lot of brothers, a lot of people. Today, when you're in the windy situation, when you're in the wind, exposed for so much, you are charged electrically, like negatively, to the point that you start having headaches, migraines, and you start feeling uneasy. Why? Because you're electrically charged to the point that is overwhelming. That's why I suggest people to go and do what? Earthing, meaning a balance the electric that you have absorbed through those windy days, and transmute all the electricity into the earth. What they call it earthing, right? They call it earthing. Earthing. Right there, you see the earth of grounding, right? 7 healing benefits of walking barefoot. And that's basically what you do when you're overly negatively charged with negative ions from the air. You're supposed to take off your shoes and touch the earth with your bare foot in order for all those negative ions to transfer from your body into the ground, creating a balance within your body itself. You know what I'm saying? So right, right. Cortocircuito, right, exactly. All of that is true, exactly. Static clean. Right, right. So, going back to the wearing of fabrics. Job 5 and 6. Although affliction cometh not forth of the dust, neither doth trouble spring out of the ground. You see, which goes back into the earth of grounding yourself. Taking off your shoes and then earthing, um, balancing the negative ions that you have absorbed through windy days. But it also goes back to us wearing fabrics that are mixed. Why? Because these fabrics that are mixed are also creating negative ion charge bodies, and that's what creates sicknesses and unbalance, emotional imbalances. You get irritated pretty easy, or easier than ever before. You get angry faster, and so on and so forth. Why? Because you're negatively charged with negative ions within your body and your mind itself. You understand? So that's basically what it means. Yeah, man is born into trouble as sparks fly upward. Right, 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 right. Sparks fly upwards. Right. Exactly. So yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to bring out, as far as the understanding of the law of mixing um, fabrics. Right. Now it says the mixing of materials is one of the commandments in Scripture regarding prohibited mixtures. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 9 and 11. These commandments include mixing cattle, Leviticus 19:19, mixing seed, Leviticus 19:19, wearing garments made of two kinds of material, Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 6, and intermarrying with the nations, Deuteronomy chapter 7, 3 and 4. Now, the intermarrying of the nations, we know that Deuteronomy chapter 7 is referring to the Canaanite nations, not the other nations themselves. Why? Because the 12 tribes were allowed themselves to marry other nations. And I will give you 3 examples. You have Joseph that married the Egyptian woman. You have Moses that married who? The Cushite woman. You have Judah that married, I don't know if it was, I think it was a Canaanite woman, which was off, right? But the whole point is that, you know, um, in Deuteronomy chapter, what is it, 21? Yeah, 21. We're gonna go into that in a minute, and then we're gonna close it out. We're gonna call it a night. Um, Check this out, right? So, are we allowed to marry other nations? According to the Torah, yes, right? So, check this out. It says, eh, hmm, it says, when thou goest forth to war against thy enemies, and the Lord thy God had delivered them into thine hand, and thou hast taken them captives. Verse 11, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Verse 12, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and bare her nails.
And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off of her, and she shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. See, so this is talking about, warfare times when we went to war and we see a woman that we like from the other nations, except the Canaanite nations, right? Because we can read that earlier in chapter 20, right? In verse 20, verse 15, when it talks about the Canaanites, verse 16. Matter of fact, let me see if I can read it. Verse 16, it says, but of the cities of these people which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. Talking about who? The Canaanites. Verse 17, but thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. So these are the nations that we were supposed to be destroyed. These are the nations that we were not supposed to intermingle with, right? Just like as we read in chapter 7, right? Chapter 7 is clear as that. It says, uh, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and had cast out many nations before them, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites, so on and so forth. I'm gonna jump to verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thy son. So the whole context of this passage is earlier, right? Talking about who? The Canaanite nations, the nation that was meant to be destroyed, just like we read in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 16, 17, right? But the other nations, right, in chapter 21, verse 10 to 13, we are allowed to marry other nations. That's the whole point. The other nations outside the Canaanites, right? That's the whole point. But obviously, I'm not promoting that brothers should marry like Chinese or Japanese, so on and so forth. If that's where the most I call you to do, marry a Japanese or a Kushite, bro. That's between you and the Most High, bro. But Canaanites and Egyptian and Canaanites are forbidden to for us to marry. So that's the whole point also, between the mixing of the garments, right? The mixing of the garments also going into the mixing of the other nations, right? Which we are allowed to accept the Canaanites. That's the whole point. That's what I wanna highlight that part, because I don't want brothers to get confused. Like, oh, Shamar is teaching us that we're supposed to marry the other nations, so on and so forth. Well, that's not what I'm teaching. I'm just simply reading what the scripture says, that brothers are allowed to marry other nations if you desire to, just like we read over there in Exodus 21, my bad, Exodus chapter 21, verse 10 and down 13. So, but as far as the Canaanites, we're not allowed to marry them nor give our sons and daughters to them. Why? Because they're the cursed nation. They were meant to be destroyed from on the face of the planet. So anybody else want to come in? Anybody else want to say anything else before I close out? Shalom, welcome to live. Thanks for sticking around. Uh, I hope you guys learned something today. Any questions? You brothers have any questions, man? You brothers want me to go over certain things?
Shabbat.
Shalom, bro. What's up? Welcome to live.
Just listening to your whole lesson and stuff like that. You're going into the mysticism.
Yeah, man. That's basically what Torah is, bro. Torah is
That's
just a
Torah is
multi-dimensional
literal
book.
and esoteric. It's literal, but it's also esoteric at the same
Yeah,
time. And a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, I'm saying they're afraid to go be like they're afraid of the esoteric. They're afraid of the hidden meaning behind it, and they don't understand like the power within the Torah.
They are a lot of brothers, and that's why I wanted to bring this out, because you have a lot of brothers that are keeping the commandments, but they're not understanding what they're even keeping. Just like you got brothers that are keeping like the Feast of Tabernacles. What is the whole point behind the Feast of Tabernacles? You got brothers going into the wilderness, setting
Hmm.
up tents that they bought at Walmart, bro. That's completely off.
They
If
don't.
brothers want to keep the commandments, you gotta do it the way it's written therein, right? But what is the spiritual aspect
Hmm.
behind all of that,
Also,
right?
also like when you were talking about like going into Egypt, Egypt also represents like the Citra Akra. Yeah, I'm saying so like the Citra Akra, that's the wicked side. Yeah, I'm
Mm,
saying so that's why we had to go out. We had to be in the wilderness for 40 years, and we had to eat manna, which were shrooms, to cleanse ourselves.
right. Yeah, man. Exactly. So
Yeah.
a lot of brothers are afraid to dive into like the esoteric behind the Torah itself. This is why we read in Galatians, we read in Hebrews chapter 10 that the
Hmm.
whole thing about Torah
I want to
itself
bring a
was.
scripture that's in the Injil.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, bring it out. So the
Yeah,
whole
I want to bring a
before
scripture
you
that's
bring
in
it
the
out, let
in
me
the
just
in.
finish train of thought real quick. So the whole thing about Torah
Yeah.
itself is nothing more than a schoolmaster, the shadow of good things to come. The shadow is not the real
Hmm.
thing. Shadow is just a shadow. It's like you are the body, but you're also casting a shadow. Well, your shadow is not the real
Definitely.
you. You are the real you. Well, the Torah itself is that schoolmaster, is the shadow of the better things that we were supposed to understand later on, or as quickly as possible. Obviously, our nation never understood those things. That's why they kept on being one dimensional all the time. They were sacrificing all these other things and all this other doing all this other bullshit that had nothing to do with your spiritual elevation. But go ahead, bring it out.
Definitely. Oh, this is a scripture. It's not in the Torah. It's in the Injil. It's Luke 22:10, and he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth it. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, read it again, bro.
This is Luke, was it Luke 22:10, and he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him to the house where he enters in.
Right,
Do
exactly.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
man.
about?
I know
With the
what you're
whole
talking about.
conjunction and stuff like that. So that's why, especially the Injil, that's like pure. Like they call it the gospel. I call it the Injil. But that's pure esoteric.
Yeah, exactly. That picture of water, bro. Is the fifth epoch that a lot of the Mayans were speaking about when we're talking about the so-called 2021 or 2012 end of the calendar and so on and so forth. Well, that was the
Hmm.
transference of the new age
Yeah.
that's coming up. That humanity is just entering just now. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Yeah. Well, that's why you have all this chaos and you have all this confusion. That's why, like, you see a lot of the stuff that's happening, and it's just, I say to people, it's just a part of the time. It's just entering a new age. Yeah, I'm saying,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
new age. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
world moving in cycles, man. That's basically what it
yeah.
is.
Because when it comes to like I don't worship astrology. Like, I don't worship no other Elohim. I only worship Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? I only worship the Most High. But like astrology, the Most High created astrology. He created signs in the heavens, to show what's going on. Yeah, I'm saying.
He did. Of course he did. I mean, the whole aspect behind Genesis 49 is to assign a totem or a spiritual guide or so-called symbolic animal attached to the tribes, right? You have
Yeah,
tribe of Judah. What is it? A lion.
Leo,
What are the aspects of a
Leo.
lion? Well, the lion is represented in the heavens as the constellation of Leo,
Hmm.
right? And not too long ago, bro, where you got certain alignments that took place in the heavens, where you have exactly what we read in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, where you have the woman Virgo, and then the stars on top of her head. Well, the stars were the 12 stars that create the constellation of Leo, right? You got
Hmm.
regular snit and so on and so forth. But all these aspects have to do with times and the cosmic times that a lot of the ancient ones have already lost that knowledge in order to read
Mm.
the like the cosmic times that we live in, like the cosmic seasons, bro. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah, definitely. Even like when you go into the scripture, Meseroth, you know what I'm saying, which are like the stars and astrology, and we all have a Meseroth within us. You know what I'm saying? Because every time, like everybody when they're born, you're not just your sun sign, but you're your moon. You have ascendant, you have a Mars, you have a Venus, you have all that. You know what I'm saying? You
Yep.
know. So it's a Meseroth. Like as they say, like a lot of people like, oh, that's evil to say it, but as above, so below. As within, as without.
Yep. Hold on, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. Pablo de Santiago. Yeah, man, I have it right here. It's The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Melanie Pijo, bro. I have it. It's a long book, bro. It has a lot of jewels, bro. As a matter of fact, in this book right here, it actually teaches you that what I was saying earlier about Moses learning all the wisdom of Egypt, all the mystery school, all the mystery knowledge that Moses learned. He learned it from Egypt, so on and so forth. So, but yeah,
Have, have you ever heard of the Sefer Yetzirah?
yeah. I think I want to bring that out too, but I want to bring it out to explain it what it really means to people
I actually got a
because,
precept for it. I got a precept for it.
bro, bring me that precept, bro. I want to write it down. Hold on.
Okay. So you're dealing with a Yemenite, Yemenite Israelite. We deal with mysticism. We got a lot
Right.
of mystics.
What is it?
Jubilees 12 and 26.
12 and 26.
Yeah. And I opened his mouth and his ears and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Hebrew, the language of creation.
Mm, yeah, man.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Yetzirah means book of formation, because it shows how like the whole universe and Yahuwah, the Most High, he created the whole universe with you know, with the Ibri, you know what I'm saying? With the Aleph Bet, with the 22 letters, of the Lashwan Kodesh. Because Lashwan Kodesh means holy tongue. You know what
yeah,
I'm
man.
saying? And you
Yeah,
have 22
exactly.
amino acids too, which corresponds to the 22 with the 22 alphabet, the 22 letters of the Lashwan Kodesh.
Yeah, and the 12 amino acids are basically the blocking the what is it the blocks of life, bro. Literally, like
Yeah.
it's why we read in Leviticus, what is it? I think is chapter 17 or 18. Life is in the blood. Well,
It
life
is.
itself is the blocking the blocks of life, which is the 22 amino acids, which corresponds to the coding system of yourself, the harmonic, like because blood has harmonics too. A lot of
Hmm.
brothers don't understand, yourself, your blood has harmonics within yourself, your music itself walking around. It's crazy, man.
Hmm.
It's much now. This is why I want to bring that out, like maybe later on. I
They'll be
already
like, oh, yeah.
yeah.
They'll be like, oh, that's a lot of these they'll be like, oh, that's the white man or whatever. They don't even know what's going on.
Bro, even the white man, bro, even the white man was endowed with wisdom too. Because remember,
Yeah.
who was Esau? Esau was
Yeah.
brother to uh
Yaakov. He was
yeah,
Yaakov's
Jacob, bro.
brother. Yeah,
They
Jacob's
grew
brother.
up in the same house. They grew up learning and absorbing the same wisdom of our forefather Isaac. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
that precept was given to Abraham. What I just read, that was given to Abraham by the Most High, because after the Tower of Babel and when man went astray, they lost that knowledge. And the Most High, he gave Abraham, the Sefer Yetzirah. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that's why they say, Abraham was one of the first. Well, some say, Adam. You know what I'm saying? But most of like in the tradition, they say that Abraham was the first one to rebring, the wisdom of the Kabbalah. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I
Well,
know when I say Kabbalah, a lot of these people they're gonna say, "Oh, that's evil," but that's the
bro, I
deeper meaning
know.
of
I
the
believe
Torah.
me, man.
That's
Believe
the
me.
deeper meaning of the Torah,
Oh,
because even when Yahuwah, when he created Adam, he breathed the nashama.
yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Because we have more than one aspect of the soul. We have the nefesh. The nefesh is the animal.
Mm-hmm.
Like all animals have nefesh.
They do.
Some people just have nefesh, to be real with you, because most of these people are animals. You
Right.
know, but the nashama is the breath of the Most High, and the ruach is the spirit of the Most High upon you.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, man. So all those aspects have to do with because remember, even in Psalms chapter 1, what are humans referred to as trees next to
Yeah, the
who?
tree.
Water. Right.
Yeah, for
So
light.
what is tree? Right. What is a tree made out of? Well, a trunk. You have roots. You have
Yeah.
leaves. You have fruit. So on and so forth. So there is different aspects of a tree. Well, when I bring that out, bro, I might explain it to the detail going into the scriptures because the whole understanding behind the Kabbalah was it was what would you call it tainted by, like, for example, you got the Masons, you got
Yeah.
the warlock.
Amalek.
Yeah, the Amalek perverted all of that, bro. But the
Yeah.
understanding behind the tree, we are that tree of life, which is also symbolized by the menorah. We are that menorah as
The
well.
menorah.
You
And
know what I'm saying?
the
We are that
Magan
menorah.
David. They say the Magan David is a star. They're retarded. Like they say, oh, it's a star Moloch. No, the Magan David is the menorah, which is an atom, because the atom's the same symbol as the Magan David. And it's six in the outer, but the inner part is seven,
Yeah,
which
what I just
represents
I
the
think I,
7 days of
I think I just
creation.
showed. Yeah, I think I just showed that too, like the etheric bodies and so on and so forth. But
Yeah.
it's more than that too.
That's
But
why I say,
yeah,
like
man.
my people, like the Israelites that were in Yemen, there's very, beautiful mystics.
Mm,
Yeah, especially
yeah,
my
man.
family.
Yeah, I know. And that's what people gotta understand. Like, I bought this book, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
learning Hebrew. I'm learning all the aspects that has to do with the language and so on and so forth.
Mhm,
So
yeah.
when I was reading this thing, right, I decoded it into the four elements. Like, you have earth, you have water, you have
Mhm,
fire, you have air. Right now, I'm gonna
yeah.
read each and one. Now, this pictographic level is level one. Is what we understand as the earthly understanding, right? The first level of the language of Hebrew, right? Because the Hebrew language has four levels, right? And we're gonna go into those in a minute. And the second level is the mnemonic meaning, which is the mnemonic meaning of a pictograph is the extended meaning related to the pictograph. For example, the pictograph mouth is a picture of a mouth and has the extended mnemonic meanings of what? Speak, blow, and open. These mnemonic meanings most often are related to the pictograph by the function rather than appearance, which is water, right? Water is what is the emotions, is what you is what makes you speak. Like, when you're emotional stable or an emotional stable, it makes you what? It makes you utter certain things. So that's the water. And then the you have the syllabic meaning. Hold on. I can't focus, man. Oh, there it is. The syllabic meaning. It says each pictograph is associated with a single syllable of two consonants. This syllable is also the name of the pictograph. The name of the pictograph, pa, and also the Hebrew word for mouth. You see, so that's the fire. Why? Because even when you read in the scriptures, that remember in Isaiah it says that Isaiah asked the Most I told to Isaiah, I'm gonna pass a hot coal, right? Coal on your mouth, and you shall utter like fire, right? That's basically what goes into the fire. And then the air, it says the phonetic sound, like the phonetic sound, which is air, right? It says the first letter of the syllabic name provides a singular sound for the purpose of the forming words and sentences.
The phonetic value of the pictograph part is p, right? And obviously, I added this up. The fifth element will be the combination of all the elements, right? The mnemonic, the syllabic, the phonetic, the pictographic, and the fifth elemental or the fifth understanding is combined in order to decode the text into the esoteric knowledge. Like all of that involving is how we decode, like
Fine.
the Torah.
Hebrew's everything. Hebrew, the letters, have elemental meaning. They're also mathematical. You know,
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, it's all of that. Like I want to start bringing that out later on, bro. But you got
Mhm.
brothers, you got sisters, you got I call them religious nut jobs that they don't understand what
Yeah.
they're talking about, bro. They're
You know,
stuck in religion, bro.
well, you got a lot of esoteric tests like the Sefer Yetzirah I deal with. I deal with the Zohar and stuff. I deal with more of the kosher text, but a lot of stuff like the newer stuff like it's not legit.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a lot of books on that, bro. I just bought like two, three. Well, I bought two lexicons and I bought like two other Hebrew books. I'm gonna start
yeah,
diving into that, bro, because there's a lot of meat, bro, that brothers gotta
yeah.
understand. Like a lot of people are stuck on level one. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are stuck on like,
Well,
well,
you
you
got
gotta
to
keep the
chew the meat,
Shabbat, or what
spit
does
out
that
the
mean?
bone.
How you keeping the Shabbat, bro? Like
Yeah.
thou shalt not kindle the fire. What does that mean?
Mhm.
Why are you keeping the feast of
Yeah.
lights, the so-called
Yeah.
the rededication of the temple? What does that mean? Is it just putting up a menorah? What does that entail? Like what is
Mhm.
that going, how does that helping your soul and your
Yeah.
mind elevate? Like how is that elevating yourself, your journey, pushing you to the farther out, like going you
Yeah.
we're supposed to be moving forward, just like the scripture speaks about, that we're supposed to be moving from glory to glory,
Yeah.
right? From
Definitely.
light to light, from
Yeah.
elevation to elevation, from one step
Higher
to
up.
the next.
Higher up.
So
You know,
we can't elevate ourselves if we're stuck on just the carnal mind aspects of, oh well, you gotta keep these, you gotta keep that. Well, okay, oh, I'm keeping that. How does that helping me?
one of the most. I know it's
just
not in
like
the.
just like the whole thing about fabrics, like the whole thing
Yeah.
about not mixing fabrics. How is that
Definitely.
affecting me,
Well, that's
and
energy.
how does that
That's
help me?
electricity.
How does
That's
that help me
electricity. That's
not to
electricity.
wear mixed fabrics and so on and so forth? So there's many aspects to that, bro. But yeah, I'm glad you understand those.
Yeah, even like Hanukkah. Well, Hanukkah is in the Torah, but it doesn't say to celebrate Hanukkah. But obviously, people celebrate Hanukkah because of the Maccabees. But
Vega,
what
you
does
there, bro?
Hanukkah mean? Hanukkah means altering. Was it dedication to the altar? So rededicating your altar. Within. You know what I'm saying? And they don't understand that. It's a very mystical. It's very mystical. Hanukkah. Because after Hanukkah they have Christmas and all that, and I call the Christmas abomination of
Pablo de
abomination.
Santiago. I don't know if you can hear me. Shit.
If he's there,
You guys hear me or no?
yeah, I hear you.
Oh, Vega, you there, bro?
Yeah,
What's up, man? How you been?
just chilling, just eating right now.
All right. I thought you were gonna debate that clown. Did you debate that clown or no?
No, they chicken out like always.
Wow,
You know
bro.
how that goes.
Crazy. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen because we were waiting for I don't know, I think it was Jeremiah JJ 7000 to send the link or talk to the other dude, and that never panned out. So I figured they were chickening out.
Well, I know that recently that he broke up with his girlfriend. I forgot that girl's name. And
Jeremiah Judah. I mean,
yeah, Jeremiah Judah. He broke up with his girlfriend, and supposedly she like took over like the lion's den. Like she has like the
the password.
the password and all that stuff, and she's like like threatened him to like take it all away from him and stuff. He did like a video on it like about a week and a half ago or something like that, 2 weeks ago.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sister Carla. That's her name, Sister Carla.
Yeah, I know who she is, bro. Well, that's crazy, bro. Well, I don't know.
So I guess that's
I,
probably, yeah, that could be another reason because I haven't heard from JJ since he posted up that
yeah, but JJ has other channels though. Like he has like other pages, bro. That he has like over 25,000 members or whatever the like, which is a good following.
mm,
Yeah, bro. Did you see the comment board when I was going against these dudes on the ex card member and SAR and them like,
uh-huh.
bro?
There was a
Like I asked,
It's
I asked.
funny because I had that same discussion on Judah Nazareth channel
Uh-huh.
like over a week ago when they were talking about the firstborn stuff, right? Because they were talking about, oh, Christ is the firstborn. They were bringing up, John 3:16. I'm like,
Right, bro.
your fucking Torah tells you that Ephraim was the firstborn, fucking
King
Israel was the
David.
firstborn, David was the first begotten
Yeah.
son, because they thought begotten means like only son. I'm like, no, it doesn't mean only son. Like it's ridiculous, man. Like it's the same stuff, man, over and
Yeah,
over.
man. Like first of all, like they first of all gotta address like what is the understanding behind the Mosai choosing the so-called firstborns, and when it says everyone that opens up the womb is mine, right? That means who is the firstborn? The elder child will be considered what? The firstborn. Why? Because that person opened up the womb. So when it talks about, oh well, the one that opens up the womb is mine, said the Lord. Okay, well, what does that mean? Like mining what aspect, and what does that mean to be firstborn, right? Because again, going back to Christ being a firstborn, King David being a firstborn, Ephraim being a firstborn, what does that all mean, right?
Yeah,
And I asked them to answer me those questions, like answer me that question. What does it all mean?
they could,
Instead, they went ahead and were
yeah, they
talking
could,
about all this trash and all these nonsense about my picture being edited
yeah,
and all this shit,
yeah, they
bro.
couldn't
Like,
answer it. It was like I said, they're sad. This is why I keep telling you. I was like, that's why I don't even conversate with them anymore. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why deal with these people who don't teach anything, who don't debate anything? All they want to do is just talk crap on, be keyboard warriors. It's like, oh, at the end of the day, you don't teach anything. You know why you don't teach anything? Because you're gonna have people like us ask you simple questions that you guys can't answer. That's why
right,
you guys don't want to be
bro.
embarrassed. We're asking, I saw it. I was like, but we're asking you a simple question. What is the meaning of the being firstborn? Because Ephraim certainly wasn't the firstborn. David certainly wasn't the firstborn. Matter of fact, it says, "This day I have begotten you," meaning that David was never begotten before that. So that, what I'm saying, until that day. So for them to even think that begotten means only son, so what are you saying? Is that so that in Psalms 103, when it talks about, well, I'm talking to David, well, this day I have begotten you. Well,
Right.
if he just begotten him that day, what,
Exactly, bro.
what is it saying?
Exactly. That's
What
it.
is it
That
saying? It
see
means
that
that he's
that
choosing
that
that he is
since you don't answer,
choosing
bro. You just answer the question pretty easy. They could have done the same thing, but instead they went on a rampage about, oh, look at your page. Maybe you should put makeup on and all this other things, bro. Like, bro, are you kidding me, bro? Instead of answering my questions, right? Because none of you can answer my questions. You go on a rampage of talking trash and dirt against me, bro. Like, what is the whole point, right?
It's like it's almost like the same argument that they make about Christ about the virgin birth. It's like, Mary was a virgin and the Immaculate Conception. I was like, well, the same arguments you guys make about the New Testament, we could make about the Old. Just like in Jeremiah, was it Jeremiah chapter 1, where it talks when the Most High says that I formed you in the belly before, I knew you, and I could make the same claim. Anybody could be wicked and make the same claim about the Immaculate Conception in Jeremiah, in the book of Jeremiah. It's like we bring these arguments out all the time. Stop trying to attack the book, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are attacking. You guys hate Yahweh so much that you guys attack the Old Testament to defend the New Testament." I was like, "No, it's like we're just pointing out that the same silly arguments you guys can make about the New Testament, we can make and show you in the Old Testament. Point blank,
Yeah,
period."
Right, and they act like when we find certain discrepancies in the Torah, that all of a sudden we're going against Torah and that we don't believe in Torah anymore. That's not true. But but because we can point out the same things about the New Testament, because the New Testament is also corrupted. The fact that Old Testament is, that doesn't mean that, oh well, all of a sudden we don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Did you see when that dude Al Qoyar, or whatever his name is, when he was talking about John chapter 3, when Christ was putting himself as the serpent that was in the wilderness, and he said something about oh well, so Christ elevated himself as Lucifer. Do you see the argument, bro?
Yeah, he basically said that they lifted up that basically Moses lifted up Lucifer. I was like, what the hell?
Mm.
Right, right. Like according to your own argument. So are you saying that our people got healed by lifting up Lucifer in the wilderness in the form of a snake? And that's the other thing. Like a lot of these dudes can't even answer. I mean, not even Quana can even answer. Okay, well, what is the meaning behind the snake, and why a snake? Why was the snake lifted up and to heal the nation, right? And so if a snake is such an evil symbolism, why is God using it as a symbol to heal, as a symbol of goodness unto the tribes? And why didn't the Most High heal the people instead of a snake?
Well,
So on
Dan
and so
was
forth. I mean,
representing as a snake.
is the Most High now promoting idolatry of a snake? You know what I'm saying? It's like all these questions I keep asking, none of them can answer. But you know, um,
Dan was represented as a snake.
Efraim Rivera, bro, you're here, but you still owe an apology to Jose Vega Knight for making a video, a slander video against us, talking about we're promoting drugs and pharmaceuticals when that's far from the truth. So I don't know what you're doing here, bro. You still owe us an apology. So if you really want to talk to us, maybe you should do a video apologizing to Jose Vega Knight for lying, for being a lying snake, like all these other cats, onto the people, bearing false witness against us, saying, "Oh well, these dudes, they're promoting pharmaceuticals, they're promoting, to take drugs, this, and that, and the third," when that's not true. But again, you know, you got brothers like Ephraim and other brothers bearing false witness, especially about us promoting pharmaceuticals. We're not promoting anybody to take any pharmaceuticals. Mushrooms are not pharmaceuticals; they're psychedelics. And it's like the same thing with DMT. DMT is a psychedelic that is created in your brain. DMT is a substance that is secreted within your brain. With your pineal gland creates DMT. DMT is a psychedelic. It's a psychedelic substance that helps you dream. Is what helps you dream and see visions and so on and so forth. Is what the ancient ones had in order to foresee the future and be serious and prophets and whatever they like. So how is that pharmaceuticals, huh? Efraim Rivera, how is that pharmaceuticals again? So once again, if you wanna come back and start breaking bread with us once again, you have to make a video apologizing for the lies that you spread out against Jose Vega Knight. So there it is.
I have
Yeshaya.
a question.
He says Isaiah 14.
Yeah, Isaiah 14, bro.
He says
That's
the
even
holy
talking about
verse.
Nebuchadnezzar too.
Yeah, it's talking about
It's
Nebuchadnezzar.
not even talking about so-called, Lucifer.
He says only verse with Lucifer.
I
But people don't
seen like
understand Lucifer.
the deity, the being, the divine being,
So I think
because
verse.
Babylon was lifted up to be the top notch of the kingdoms.
Tomorrow we
Is
take
why when you read in the book of Daniel, you have the statue of the golden head, which symbolizes being the top notch kingdom on the planet. As a matter of fact, it says that even the beasts of the field and all the animals and everybody else and all the trees were bound down to the huge tree, which represented who? The tree of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, one of the greatest kings on the planet, the most powerful kingdom on the planet. Is why he was symbolized as the golden. So the whole idea behind Lucifer, or what is it, Belel Halal, I think in the Hebrew, it means to shine. Well, he was shining because he was made of what? Of gold. And he was the top notch. He was the head of the statue that we read of in the book of Daniel, chapter, I forgot, the book of Daniel, when it prophesizes about the statue, of gold and silver and bronze and iron and clay and so on and so forth. Well, the head was made of gold. Gold shines. It is what it means in the Hebrew. It means to shine forth, or to be golden. So Lucifer, Belial Halal means that. So it's not talking about the being like the Lucifer itself, like the
Yeah.
deity.
Well, there is no being.
But yeah.
The, do you guys believe King David will rule again?
Yeah.
King David?
Psalm
Um,
68:5, a father
Mark,
of the fatherless and a judge
Mark,
of
do
the
you hear us?
widows is God is in his holy habitation.
Mm.
God setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth
Mark,
out
you can
those
hear
which
me?
are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land.
Hey, Shamar, you can hear me?
Right. Yeah, exactly, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I knew that by
I think
memory.
we can
So,
hear.
you got a lot of brothers that are completely oh,
I don't think you can hear me, Shamar. Yeah, he's a come back in.
I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is it Shamar has
Yeah, I
that
had a
sometimes
question.
on his
A
end?
question
Hey,
for you.
why are you doing that to her? Clean her up right now. Get a wipey right now. Hurry up. Now. I don't know why you did that or allow her to do that.
I have a question.
yeah, man, what's up?
Do you believe King David will rule again?
King David?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what we read in Ezekiel 37, I believe.
Yeah, because it says like he's gonna rule, he's gonna bring back all the
Come
tribes,
on.
he's gonna restore the Zadokite priesthood.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let me read
You
it
need
for the
more
people.
than one. Yeah, I believe that. Also, for Yeshaya, for to answer his question about Lucifer, you also see because, like Shamar said, Lucifer in Isaiah 14, it's talking about Nebuchadnezzar, but you also see that Lucifer also represents the Canaanites or the king of, I believe, Tyre, which
Yeah,
we
the
read in,
snake spirit.
what is it, Ezekiel 20, Ezekiel 28. The same thing that's being said about Nebuchadnezzar is being said about Tyre, Prince of Tyre.
What compares
Yeah,
the
man.
king of Tyre
Yeah,
to the serpent, because it has that serpent spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Here it is, man. Ezekiel 37 verse 22, it says, "And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into kingdoms anymore at all." 23, neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols. Meaning what? Meaning that up to this point, a lot of our people will be into idolatry, nor with their
Mm.
detestable things, nor with any other transgression. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So, save him. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. And David be my servant, shall be king over them. And
Mm.
they all shall have one shepherd, my judgments, and observe my statutes and do them. So yeah, so King David, man, is gonna be the king.
That's what it says all throughout the Tanakh. You know what I'm saying? As prophecies,
Yeah,
days and days for him. Because he's supposed to restore like the Davidic line
yeah,
and
and the
stuff like
priest
that,
of
and have the
Melchizedek
Zadokite
too.
priesthood. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like how like Jethro was a priest.
Yeah, he was a priest. I don't know to whom, but he was a priest. Yeah.
No, but because like the Masoretic scripture, the Masoretic text, it has arrows. My bad. Errors in it. My bad,
Mm-hmm.
has arrows in it. So that's why when you go into the you ever heard of the Samaritans?
Yeah.
There are people, the
Mm-hmm.
Samaritans in their Pentateuch. It actually says like how they like Moses was married to Ethiopian.
Yeah.
How she was jealous, that's a mistranslation. She was jealous because they were just because she was a beautiful woman. Because Jethro was a Midianite, and guess who? Midian was a son of Abraham.
Yeah. There
You
were
know what I'm saying?
Shemites.
Yeah. And also too, like in Genesis, in Bereshit, you already know like that one prophecy. which is like one of the biggest prophecies, it calls Shem a priest of Elohim, calls him the priest of Yahuwah, of the Most High. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, because even Abraham too, coming out of the land of the Chaldeans, because the Chaldeans were basically worshiping a lot of the Anuna gods, like the
Yeah,
Anunnaki
with
and all that stuff.
fallen
Even
angels.
even Abraham's father, he was a priest to one of the Anuna, and
Yeah.
so yeah, and so one of the gods, one of the Alahayim, basically chose Abraham. Is like, listen, get out of that
Hmm.
land, go into another land. I'm gonna show you. But he was the priest. He became the like you were saying, the priest of the Mosai. Then
Because I'd
is
say like
why.
the priesthood of Melchizedek is like the priesthood of Hashem. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
saying.
Yeah.
And
And
Shem.
that's why you have even Abraham not being of a Levitical priesthood. He was even doing what? Sacrifices.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's why like anybody like from the line of Shem through that line can be a priest of Melchizedek. And also like in the Dead Sea Scrolls, I think it also associates the priest of Melchizedek with the heavenly priesthood because Michael is a priest also in the heavens in the
Right.
Shamamim. Yeah, I'm saying
Exactly, bro.
as above, so below. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Well, even King David. Remember, King David was called what? A priest after who?
Yeah,
After the order of Melchizedek forever.
priest of Melchizedek. Yeah.
So King David wore, he was wearing the ephod. Well, the ephod was only meant to be worn by the Levites, the sons
Hmm.
of Aaron. But yet you have one of the kings of Judah that was wearing the ephod, right? He was
Yeah.
wearing the ephod. So
King
what was a
David.
king of the kings of Judah wearing an ephod for? Going into the holy of holies, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Priesthood of
So
Melchizedek. Well, the
yeah, man.
heavenly priesthood.
Yeah, bro. And I brought this out like a while ago when I was talking about like the cross that is made up in the encampment of Israel. You have
Yeah.
Ephraim, Manasseh, and so on and so forth. You have all the 12 tribes that
Yeah.
were around or surrounding the temple, right?
And the
But you have
Levites are around them too. The Levites, because each each Levi clan, they administer to
yeah, yeah. I
each
think
of
there's
three of
four.
the tribes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so you have like the tribe of Judah in the east, right? Now the
Yeah,
tribe of
Issachar.
Judah being positioned in the east, bro, he has access to the temple. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's the symbolism of the tribe of Judah being the head tribe of the east, and the east part of the in the wilderness. So
It's
yeah,
yeah,
no, I'm saying it's also a beautiful thing that a lot of people who are watching this right now, that right now we're looking at a so-called cross, but people don't understand that the cross is really the unfolding of a cube.
yeah. The
right.
temple. Yeah,
Yeah, the mind. Yeah, like when
and the
you
mind cube is the mind. The holy of holies.
There you
Because the
yeah,
go.
mind is the holy of holies.
Boom, there it is.
right there is the holy of holies. Like this is the mind, and that's why I was saying like the tribes themselves, we contain the mind of God ourselves,
Hmm.
right? We have the secrets of God. Why? Because
Yeah,
we are the multidimensional beings that exist on this planet, right?
yeah,
Basically you have a cube within a cube within a cube within a cube. Why? Because even the holy, like the temple of the wilderness, it can be folded into a cube too. You have the holy of holies that can also be folded up into a cube. You have what would you call it, the ark of the covenant that can be folded into a cube. You have the incense burn, the incense
incense
that
altar.
was, yeah, the incense altar that also can be folded into a cube of cubes. So
Hmm.
literally, like it's what we call the tesseract, bro. Now the tesseract is what you have, the Avengers. Like you guys saw that movie, what you have Loki basically grabbing the cube. What was the
Yeah,
cube for? He was a multi-dimensional object that transfer yourself, your soul, your being into a
yeah.
into another dimension, bro. That's
It does.
basically what it is. We have the mind of God, bro.
Hmm.
This is why the Hebrew is very important, bro. This is why
They,
everybody
they,
has to start learning the Hebrew in order to understand like the mind of God ourselves, right? So
well, the
and
mind
not
guy
only
is
that,
God.
huh?
I said we're in the mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like we're in the mind, and the mind is with it. Like we're in the mind of
You-
God, but the
The
mind of
mind
God
with
is within
mind
us.
within the mind, bro.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and then I think even like in the book of in this book that I
Yeah,
have, the many Pijo, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You have Christ right there. You also doing like
Yeah.
eating
Yeah.
the like the these the cross, the same cross, bro.
Yeah.
It's basically the symbolism behind the 12 tribes being the like the so-called
Yeah.
servant dying, right?
Mm.
Because of our sins, because of our wickedness, we are being sacrificed, right? Like
Yeah.
Christ was also part of the tribes. He was from the tribe of Judah. So
Mm.
it's all symbolic, man.
Yeah. I mean, I go within like mostly like the Tanakh, understanding, but I guess that's how the Injil breaks it down.
Right.
You know.
But yeah, man. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that we all gotta learn. But we're
Mm.
learning slowly for surely.
Learn something new every day. But,
Again, Ephraim, bro. Again, see you coming out with the weird spirit, bro. This is why nobody wants to rock with you, bro. You coming out with this weird vibration, bro. I'm just saying that you owe us an apology for talking all this nonsense and lying onto the people, making a video to slander our name, right? When none of us have actually is pushing out for brothers to take pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals is something that is created in a lab. Psychedelics is something that the earth herself creates, and is why the Most High said that He created plants, herbs, roots, leaves, fruits, for the healing of the nations. So, so for you to say that we're pushing these nonsense about people gotta do drugs and all this other stuff, you're off, bro. You're off, and you're coming out with that spirit, bro. Is that what you're coming for? Is that what you're coming here for? To cause confusion and dissension and disrespect. Anyways, man, I'm blocking you. When you have when you man up, when you really want to be a man of God like you claim to be, you will humble down and apologize, make a video apology for lying against Jose Vega and I, bro. Just like a lot of these dudes been lying against us, bro. What are we doing? Why are we pushing witchcraft? Because we break down the certain mysteries or esoteric knowledge unto the people. And mind you, I haven't even brought out the whole thing. When I do, again, I don't bring it out too often because people are not ready for it. So imagine if I do when I do. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna think, well, Ayash is into witchcraft. Ayash is a wizard. Ayash is doing magic, and all this other shit. But whatever.
mm.
It's
It's
crazy.
it's funny because that same argument could be just like if we were to travel back in time and show Moses, these laptops and these cell phones, the Moses will say that we're using witchcraft just for you would call like
Right.
laptops and cell phones and what we have today as witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Witchcraft is just rebellion against the Most High. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But like crystals, like a lot of people say, oh, crystals, oh, incense, oh, like even sage, oh, that's witchcraft. That's in the Torah.
It
How's that
is.
witchcraft? That makes no sense. Yeah, I'm saying like obviously like magic. Like I look at like the word like magic. Like people like mag. Like it's called magic. You got holy magic, and then you got black magic. You got unholy magic. You got evil like what we call like the Sitra Akra. Yeah, I'm saying like the Sitra Akra is the left hand side, but then you have holy magic. That's with the Most High. You know, a lot of people
Yeah,
don't
man.
understand that. You know,
Exactly. Like you have like the Levites. The Levites themselves were wearing gems or crystals and so on and so
yeah,
forth. So I
exactly.
brought it out just not too long ago, like an hour ago when I spoke about the ephod and how
Yeah,
the
I've
ephod
seen that.
is basically 12 gems, 12 crystals, and you have
Yeah.
what would you call it? The Urim and Tumim were basically divining tools, like
even
nothing more than divining tools. So what do you mean? What are you talking about?
even if you
Mm.
even if you like to picture Moses in your mind, right? Picture this: an old man with a long beard, with a robe on, walking around with a stick. that looks like a damn wizard. It looks like Lords of the Rings. What's his name?
Gandalf.
Yeah, Gandalf. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you like kind of like picture the stuff like that, man. You know?
Well, he knew a lot. Moses was, even like, it says, he was initiated into both, so he knew both spirits, but he was raised in the Sitra, but he left the Sitra. Then you look
Yeah.
at King Solomon. King Solomon was raised with like, holy magic, but at the end, he started doing Citra Akra. He started going into like black magic. Yeah, I'm saying, even in I don't know if you guys, I don't know what's your thoughts on the Quran, but and stuff, but it says in the Quran, King Solomon, he could control like jinn and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
All
I
types of
believe
different
all
stuff.
that, bro. Because remember, like King Solomon was
Mhm.
endowed with all the wisdom, bro. He was the wisest
Yeah.
man on the planet. So imagine if you have all this wisdom, bro. You have wisdom herself in inhabiting your
Hokmah.
own self. That means you're able to tap into certain disciplines of magic and all these other things.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Have you ever read the Keys of Solomon?
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying?
in those
They're,
books, it tells you that
you
he
know
was
about
able
that.
to basically control like
Yeah.
demons,
Yeah.
just like
I don't
Christ, bro.
recommend nobody. I don't recommend though. I don't recommend nobody. Like when I say like a course, like, but I don't recommend nobody go into like you can look at it like, but you gotta like don't be using that. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be using them. You can look into them, but don't be using them or nothing like that. Yeah, I'm saying.
Right.
So precaution, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want people, looking at them starting to use them and they don't know what the hell. Especially, like well, you got the greater keys of Solomon. The greater keys of Solomon, like look, you can look into that, but when it goes into the lesser key of Solomon, don't even look into that. Don't even get into that. Yeah, I'm saying it's haram. Yeah, I'm saying it's
Yeah,
haram.
it's
Don't
the Canaanite, right? Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
haram.
yeah. The,
Yeah,
the Canaanite magic, which was basically the strongest,
yeah.
strong magic too.
Well, they still do it. They still do, voodoo, like in the Caribbean. That's why they say, "Oh, we're the Israelites." How come, how come they practice voodoo and they practice all these different, things? Canaanite stuff.
Yep,
You know, that's what
exactly.
they
Yeah,
do.
of course, of
Mm.
course.
I know, like in Obia, they're really into like that. They're really into like using that and stuff like that.
Yeah, those are facts, bro. Those are facts.
But there's, you got holy magic, you know what I'm saying? Then you got unholy magic, and you got to know,
Yeah,
what you're getting into. You got to be like, you got to purify yourself. You know.
yeah, and that's why a long time ago, bro, I used to talk to this girl. Everybody knows Martha, so on and
Okay.
so forth. And like I was talking to this dude, as one of my friends, bro. He was asking me about this whole thing about magic and all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, like don't go into this whole magic thing, bro, because you don't
Mhm.
understand like what you're getting into, right? Because you're dealing with
Yeah.
like demons, you're dealing with like entities
Mhm.
that you don't understand. Like they can control you. If your auric self is not strong, you're not protected, bro. You can
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
demonic possession, like and all these
Mhm.
other things. And so, I got slandered by saying, well, Ayash Shamar is teaching magic to these people, so on and so forth. I'm like, no, I'm telling them not to do it because they don't understand like what it entails, what are the aspects behind the whole idea behind making circles and invoking this and that and the third, like Solomon
Mhm.
was doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. Like all
Yeah.
these circles right there, like you don't understand what that means. These are
Yeah.
invocations. These
Yeah.
are spells, these are sigils that carry power and vibrations that you don't
Well,
understand.
you're invoking, you're invoking a certain intelligence. You're invoking angels. You know what I'm saying? You're invoking
Right.
certain beings. Because each of those was it the greater keys? Each of those keys, they correspond to a certain planet. Yeah, they correspond. One corresponds to Jupiter, other Mars, and then with the planets, the planets themselves, they're lesser Elohim. They're intelligences, and they got intelligences within them. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying because they got angels that are controlling them and stuff. It's even in the book of Enoch. You can look in the
Yeah,
book of
exactly.
Enoch, and it tells you about the luminaries, and it tells you, how each angel rules different luminaries.
Right.
You're dealing with that. You know.
Yeah, man. So all these things, bro, all these casting out circles, bro. If you don't understand
Yeah.
the symbolism behind it, the sigils that they have,
all these sigils, bro, they carry like these are sigils, bro. Like these are sigils, little things. These are sigils
Yeah.
that are implanted in the subconscious mind. And if you don't create these, bro, and you're trying to cast them out or trying to stand up on it, and you don't understand what that
Mhm.
means, you get
Yeah.
messed up in the head. You can
Yeah.
get messed up in the head. Like these are angelic writing systems too. You got the
Yeah.
Enochian language and all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Enochian language, bro. So all these
Yeah.
Enochian language, bro, they, you don't know what you're casting, what you're invoking, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. And that's why the scripture says that the power of life and death is in the tongue, it's in the invocations, it's in the
Mhm.
sounds, phonetics that you cast out. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
That's why
So that's
when it
that.
comes to the Oki and Enochian magic, like that's that's haram. Because like Enochian magic, they're dealing with fallen angels.
Yeah,
Even now, even like within the CERN, you already know about the CERN and stuff. That's what they're trying to do. Like
yeah.
even it says, I think it's in Matthew or something. It says, in the last days it will be like the days of Noah.
Yeah, like the days of nowhere, bro. Like a lot of these dudes were coming out and doing all sort of things. Well, that's we're seeing the beginning stages of that, bro. Because you have China, I believe, they already started doing chimeras, bro. They started mixing like one type of animal with another one, creating like
Yeah.
mixtures of animals. They call it chimeras back in ancient
hmm
times.
hmm Yeah. Well, that's why it's good to like understand the mysticism, but you got to deeply understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that have some understanding, they'll go off and they'll want to have like power. Like, nah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
of course, bro.
They
Like
want to
that thing.
control stuff. They just don't
Yeah,
want to pray to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Most High, He's gonna reveal. He's gonna if it's meant for, He's gonna reveal it. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna real knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The Ath, Hokmah, and Bina. You
right.
know. Even it says in the Proverbs, because I know how you say like the Elohim and how it's like both masculine and feminine, but it says like in the Proverbs, the Most High He created the earth with Hokmah and Bina, with His wisdom and His understanding.
Yeah, and
It's
that's one of
actually
the things,
feminine
bro.
principles.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I ask these dudes like, okay, so if the Most High in Proverbs chapter 3 created the earth with wisdom, now the
Mm,
question is this wisdom abiding within himself or outside himself, or is this another entity separate from the Father, from God, right? From the Most High.
mm,
Yeah, that's the question, right? Because
yeah.
that's why I asked that question is because we read it in the Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. As a matter of fact, let's read it out, bro. Let's read it out, right? Because again, a lot of brothers quote Proverbs chapter 3 to say, well, the Father created the world with wisdom, right? Well, okay, was this wisdom living within the Father, or is this wisdom outside the Father, right? So if this wisdom abides within the Father, what is that saying that God is what do you call it, an Aphrodite, or what do you call it? Yeah,
Yeah, hermaphrodite.
hermaphrodite. Yeah, is he an hermaphrodite, or what's going on?
Nah.
Right? Does he have feminine qualities to him, right? Because that will be a cut. And if not, if this wisdom does not abide within the Father, well, then this wisdom is outside the Father, which means it's a different entity. So we're gonna we're gonna see what the scripture says, because we're gonna read the wisdom of Solomon, right? Chapter 7, verse 22. It says, "For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the things that are good, that is good, quick, which cannot be led, or ready to do good, kind to men, steadfast, sure, free from care, having no power, overseeing all things, and going throughout all understanding, pure and most subtle spirit." So this is wisdom is a spirit. Just like
Mm,
verse 7, it says, "Wherefore I pray, and understanding was given to me. I call upon God, and the spirit of wisdom came to me." So this spirit of
mm,
wisdom is not inside the Father. This is a different entity. This is
mm,
outside the Father. Verse 10, it says, "I love her above health and beauty." Verse 14, "For she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of God, being commended for the gifts that come from learning." So reading on, verse 23, verse 24, "For wisdom is more moving than any motion, that passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. It says, for she is the breath of the power of God. You see, so she is the breath and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. So she's outside the Father. That means that she is a different entity.
Well, I
Therefore,
would say,
can no defiled thing fall into her. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of God. So she mirrors the Father, just like a husband, just like a wife is supposed to mirror who? Her
the
husband.
husband. Yeah.
Ding ding. And the image of his goodness. See, so in the image of his goodness. So that means that wherever the spirit of wisdom goes throughout the earth, she is supposed to represent the Father, not
Mhm.
nothing else, right? So there's like an order of things. Even herself has to be subjected to her to the Father.
Right.
Verse 27, and being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages, entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of God and prophets. 28, for God loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom, you see, with her.
Mhm.
For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of the stars, being compared with the light, she is found before it. See, so she was even created before the earth was even created. And that's what we read exactly in what is it, Proverbs chapter 8.
Even the
We brought
divine
this.
feminine must serve the divine masculine.
Well, it's like what we read in as a matter of fact, let's read that because the Mosai the Mosai creates things in what would you call it, polar opposites, right? You have up and
Yeah.
down, left and right,
Mhm.
sun and the moon, dark and
Polarity.
yeah, the
Polarity.
polarity of things. Well, the
Always
polarity of
polarity.
things is what we find in creation itself.
Mhm.
Creation itself is full of these polarities, bro. It's left and right,
Mhm.
up and down, female and male, up and down, so on and so forth. So if
Yeah.
we have polarities on this planet, who are we to say that there's no polarities in the heavens, right? Sirach chapter
Definitely is.
32, 14 and 15. As a matter of fact, let's read that. Sirach chapter 33. Chapter 33. Uh, 33, 14. There it is. It says Sirach 33 verse 14. It says, God is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. Verse 15, it says, so look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. You see, polarities.
Mhm.
So, see, so look upon all the works of the Most High. What are all the works of the Most High? Creation itself, right? You got female and male. You got water. You got the sun being a masculine aspect of creation of the celestial lights, and you got the moon being the female aspect of the celestial light that shines in the night. In the night, you got up and down, left and right. You got male and female. You got father and mother, right? So on and so forth. So, I mean, what is hard to understand that there's polarities within the divine ones, the holy ones, right? And the
Mhm.
father being the top notch, like the like the head of the family, like the Av, like the ox. You know what I'm saying? So
They're
I
interconnected.
huh?
The Most High and Hokmah, you know what I'm saying? That's wisdom. Hokmah, they're interconnected. They're one in a way, you know?
Yeah, they're not one as in like the Trinity, like three gods in one.
Mhm.
They're completely separate entities. So wisdom is what is it? Proverbs chapter 8, verse 22. It says, "The Lord possessed me in the beginning of His way, before His work of all. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was." So she was there before this universe was even created. Outside this dimension, it says, verse 24, when there were no depths, I was brought forth. She was brought forth. She was created. When there were no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills were brought forth, I was brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, see, nor the fields, nor the highest parts of the dust of the world. when he prepared the heavens, I was there, you see. So she was there. So this is not like you know, uh, the three gods in one, like a lot of dudes be saying, like, oh,
No.
wisdom is in the Father. No, this is a different entity outside time itself, outside like this creation council, whatever the like. Um, verse 28, it says, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandments, when he appointed the fountains of the earth. Verse 30, then I was by him, you see. So he was by him, not in him. It says, I was by him as one brought up with him. What does that mean? As one brought up with him. What does that mean? They were brought up together. And I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. So wisdom herself was with the Father before these
Mhm.
dimensions was even created.
Mhm.
So, and that goes back to the polarities,
Yeah.
the polarities, the polarity of creation, left and right, up and down, so on and so forth.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have you ever looked into the Targums?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the Targum Yathanathan?
yeah. I have. They're pretty interesting, bro, because there's a lot of things that you read there that are not found in the King James, and so on and so forth. So
Yeah,
it's like pretty interesting.
yeah, they're deep, very
Yeah.
deep and stuff like that. So it also tells you about like in the beginning about like like Hokmah, it calls it, well, it's like the dwelling, the Shekinah. A lot of them call it like the Shekinah, the dwelling, you know.
Yeah, the Shekinah, right? The glory
The
of God.
Shekinah.
Supposed.
Yeah, the glory of the Most High. It's very deep, like it's just like it tells you everything, even especially like the Genesis breaks down, like it tells you who like the serpent was and all that. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of books. I know that a lot of things that we have, especially the King James, is garbage.
Yeah.
Uh, the King James translations are garbage, bro.
Hmm.
But I know there's there has to be other books, bro, that are hidden away from us, like literally
Well,
like hidden away in the vaults of the Vatican.
yeah.
I know
Well,
they
it's not
have
even just in the
ships.
Vatican. You just look, because you got the Dead Sea Scrolls, you got the Targums, you got the Samaritan Pentateuch. Yeah, I'm saying you got the Septuagint. I'm saying you got different translations of the Masoretic text. Me personally, I use the Stones Tanakh. Yeah, 'cause I use the Stones Tanakh
Right.
and stuff. So you got different translations of the Masoretic texts. The KJV is kind of like there's a lot of mistranslations because it's translated in the like in the 1500s, I believe. Yeah,
1600s, I believe. Right.
no, the 1600s, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Somewhere around
Like
there.
yeah, so they didn't really have all the, they had a bunch of different translators and they were making a lot of errors in it. You
Well,
know.
supposedly they had like Hebrew translators and so on and so forth, but like we don't know like if they had an agenda, if they were
Yeah.
forced to way certain things or whatever they like. It's the same
Yeah.
like when Torah was burned again
With
under the
Ezra,
Babylonians, right? It was burned
Ezra
under
and
the
stuff.
Babylonians, and then it was rewritten again by six scribes. They
Yeah.
were put into a trance, given a like a special uh, I believe it was a psychedelic drink that opened up their minds and their understanding,
Yeah.
aka neuroplasticity. You know what I'm saying? They experienced neuroplasticity, and their minds were expanded to the point that they were able to see visions and see the mysteries of the night. And that's when they were started rewriting Torah again. But
Mhm.
there was an angel that was telling them what to write. So the question will
Yeah.
be, are we sure? How can we be sure that this angel didn't have an agenda or that this
We got
angel was evil? You know what I'm saying?
we got to look at other translations, even like the Samaritan Pentateuch, because it's older than the Masoretic script. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
saying it's older because the Samaritans they're part of the Northern Kingdom and they've been there. Yeah, I'm saying so you got to look at their Pentateuch as well. You know, so that's why some of them, like I said before, like with was like Moses's wife and how it said she was a Cushite, but she wasn't actually a Cushite. It was a mistranslation. It was an error. Yeah, I'm saying they were jealous because she was a beautiful woman.
Could be, man.
Yeah,
Could be. I think same thing with like Judah marrying a Canaanite. I don't think it was a
yeah,
Canaanite either, because what is it? I think the DSS says that it was what was it, an Assyrian? I
yeah.
think,
Or
yeah,
man.
Aramean, right? It was a
Yeah.
Shemite woman. So
'Cause I
so
know
yes,
Rebecca, she was an Aramean. I know Leela, Rachel, they're Arameans. I don't know what their the two the two concubines were. I don't know. They were. I think they might have been Arameans as well. You
most
know.
likely, bro, because I don't think they were Hamites or Africans. So
No,
yeah,
no. Especially a lot of stuff because like they weren't really mixable. They mixed with Egyptians and like even Queen Sheba, that's suspect too if she was really a Hamite because you look in the Quran, it says that like the land of Sheba was actually in Yemen. It was an actually well, I think it was Yemen that controlled like Ethiopia. Yeah, I'm saying
yeah,
that's what
that's
like
what
the
I heard.
Quran says.
Yeah, I heard she might have been a Cushite, bro, and that's
Yeah.
why you have a lot of these Ethiopians that basically want to claim like some sort of inheritance to the tribe of
Mhm.
Judah,
Well,
because suppose, yeah.
Well, like Menelik, she got pregnant, because they have their own books. They have some, they got their book of King. It was not the same book of Kings in the Tanakh, but it's a different, like it's a book of their kings. And Menelik the first, like Menelik was a descendant, was a son of Solomon, and that's how you get Haile Selassie and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
Haile Selassie, you look at him, bro, he doesn't look like a Negroid. You look at the Amharic people, you can't say that they're really pure Hamites. Yeah, I'm saying because
yeah,
a lot
some
of
of
them they look Shemitic, and I don't know if you guys really deal with DNA like that, but they did a lot of DNA testing on the haplogroup. Some of them carry like the E1, but a lot of them they carry J markers, and J markers that's a Shemitic
um
marker.
yeah,
So I don't know what's your guys' thoughts on haplogroups and stuff, but they carry a lot of and a lot of them are from Yemen. Amharic. Amharic people they're Shemitic, but they have Hamitic blood, obviously, but they're mixed with Shemitic, like Shemitic, like a lot from, Joktan. Joktan was the original Arabs, you know what I'm saying? Like most Yemen, a lot of Yemenites are from Joktan, because you got a lot of different tribes, you
right.
know?
We got 12 tribes. You got, because Ishmael had 12 tribes too, bro.
Yeah, I know. But
Right.
before Ishmael, there was other Shemites that were living in Arabia, like
Oh yeah.
Joktan and that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, like they think everybody over there is Ishmael. No, you have a lot of different other Shemites. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying the Shemites are still in the land, and you know who the Hamites are. Like we have a people, they're like a lower class people. The all I forget what they're called again. But we have Canaanites in Yemen, and we enslaved their ass.
Mm. Right. Well, they're
Lower
servants
slaves,
to all the nations anyway.
you
Yeah.
know. They kept it real, you know what I'm saying? But you have a lot of Yemenites that are Israelites, like my family, you know,
Mm.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Because
man. Yeah.
you had Israelite kingdoms that ruled in Yemen.
Right. Well, I believe it. I mean, as far as like us tracing them back to like one of the kings of Judah and so on and so forth, I can't do that. I mean, as far as the hollow groups going back to JLG, I believe those are all Shemites. But as
Hmm.
far as us like pinpointing, oh yeah, you are a tribe of Judah. Well, I can't do that right now. But I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
there are tribes there. I'm sure there are tribes there, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like the spirit of wisdom is gonna go forward throughout the earth and
Mhm.
and
Yeah, definitely.
gather the children of God.
Yeah.
So I mean, whoever is gonna come in is gonna come in at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got Israelites, you got even like the Uyghurs, you got other Israelite groups in China, that's what the scriptures say. And you do got Israelites in China, you got Israelites in India, you got Israelites all over. Because like even in Hosea it says Israel is like the seed of the earth, you know what I'm saying?
Like the sand of the sea, right?
Sand of the sea, definitely. And I definitely don't believe Bantu are Israelites. Hell to the hell no. Hell no. Hell to the no. Hell no.
Or Igbos, right? Igbos or
Oh
Bantu,
no,
all them
no,
cats.
no, no,
The Ashanti
no.
tribes, all them
Hell
cats, they're
no.
all Canaanites, bro.
There's, I mean, I believe a lot of them are even pre-Adamites.
Like the beast of the field.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I think, some of them, like, even if you look at the Enderman Islanders, right? Like they have they have like this tribe, right? The Enderman Islanders, and like they never really messed with anybody outside their island. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Enderman Islanders?
Is that the people that live in the like in the water only or no?
No, Andaman Islanders, like they're by India. Like look it up, like Andaman Islands, and like it's these wild people. You know what I'm saying? Like they're very, they haven't had contact with no other people. Like I personally believe them that they're pre-Adamites. Like definitely, I would say
Mhm.
they're pre-Adamites. I don't know about people in West Africa. I wouldn't say that they're pre-Adam. Like some, I heard like that they're pre-Adamites, but I think most of them, like it says in Jubilees, their inheritance, they're Canaanites.
Mm.
Mostly Canaan, and I think like Punt. Yeah, I'm saying because Punt went over there. You
Yeah.
know, but definitely of Ham. They're definitely of Ham. You know,
Hmm. Pretty interesting, bro.
Yeah, because I just don't see like West Africa. Like I see a lot of West Africa. Like obviously there was Israelites, from that went to West Africa, but there were the Maghrebi. Even in what's that book, a Hebrewism of West Africa, it tells you, about the Maghrebi. The Israelites, but they look like the Arabs. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying, and they
And some of
built,
them even look white too.
yeah, they look like me. You know what I'm saying? They look like me. Um, but they built like about Al Sudan. They had like a whole community in Timbuktu. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying so.
Yeah, I
That's what
brought
it
that out,
comes.
bro. Yeah, I brought that
Yeah,
out in one of the conversations I was having with one of these people.
yeah,
As far as the Timbuktu and all the Jews that were there, they're the
yeah,
ones that started that school.
yeah. And they were a lot of these people now they're saying like a lot of like a lot of these people they're saying the Bantu were northern like Divine Prospect. He says the Bantu are they're pre-Aztec Israelites, but if they're pre-Aztec Israelites and they say oh Bel al Saddam was started by us, why do they have synagogues? Because synagogue is not a having a synagogue is not a pre-Aztec Israelite
No,
custom.
of course not. Right.
Because that's newer, because that was started after the Maccabees. Because like Judaism, like what we know, like like the Talmud and stuff. Like, well, it's not the Mishnah, but the Mishnah was started by like after with the after the Maccabees, and they had the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they were like political parties. Yeah, I'm
Basically,
saying
sold out. They sold out to the Greeks and stuff. Even during
right, yeah,
even during the times of the Romans too.
yeah. Well,
But yeah, I know what you're
yeah,
saying, bro. Yeah, I
that was
believe
a
that.
little
I believe.
before.
Yeah, yeah, and what you're saying is true though, because the whole concept of the synagogues and all sort of things that began like post what is
Well, it
supposed
started
Greek.
before Paul, way before Paul.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Post Greek times, like
yeah,
like the post Maccabean revolutions and all that
yeah.
stuff. And
Hasmonean dynasty. Look into the Hasmonean dynasty, and that's when the Pharisees were good at first. The Pharisees were good at first because the Pharisees, they preserved the customs, but they went astray.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm saying, and that's how you started. Like, that's why into that history, like after the Maccabees and like the Hasmoneans, it's very crucial. Like that history, and they went astray, but but the Pharisees, they did preserve a lot of the customs, because they did fight against the Greeks,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, like even during the times of the Hasmonean Empire, you got certain Levites that sold out, like certain priests that sold out to the Greeks, bro.
Yeah, they did. I mean, eventually, after they sold out more to the Romans and stuff like that. But then you had like as you had Zadokites, and Zadokites were like after this, and they started the Qawam community with the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they kept the original canon. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
saying.
right. I know that. Yeah, yeah, I heard that.
So but when it comes to like the Pharisees, like I look at them both, good and bad. They done good and they did bad. Yeah, I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
because you gotta look into the history and study the history. You know,
Right, right. Yeah, but a lot of and it's why like even during times of the Romans, you have a lot of the Pharisees that were like talking to Christ, like, listen, if we answer in such a way, then
Yeah.
people are gonna revolt, and then the Romans are gonna take our place. Like they're gonna literally, because they sold out, like they literally sold themselves to the Romans, like back in those
Mhm.
days.
Well, like, but a lot of the Pharisees, like Hillel. Have you ever heard of Hillel, Rabbi Hillel?
Mm-mm.
Look up,
No.
look up Rabbi Hillel. Because he started the one. He started. He was a leader of the Sanhedrin. He became leader, like he became the prime minister of the Sanhedrin, and he actually opposed Hadrian because he was like F Hadrian because like he didn't want Hadrian to rule because Hadrian was an Edomite
Mm,
and stuff. But he
yeah.
actually changed. He actually changed. He started the tradition where it became like through your mother instead of through your father, because a lot of women from a lot of Israelite women in Alexandria and stuff, they were getting raped. Yeah, I'm saying.
Mm,
So that's why he changed it.
right.
But it's
Yeah.
actually both through your mother and your father.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we know that. Hillel the Elder, it says Hillel was a Jewish religious leader, sage, and scholar associated with the development of the Mishnah and the Talmud, and the founder of the House of Hillel School of Tanaim. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's the same thing, but
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna read on to that.
There's a lot of history, there's a lot of history at that between that time period. Even like, I know like, the times of the New Testament, there's a lot of history that went down,
Mm,
So that's why you gotta look at all of the history,
right.
you
No, I
know.
believe that, bro. I believe that.
Yeah. Especially a lot of cats they just want to go with they don't want to look in, they just want to say how they want to say it, but I look into everything,
Mm-hmm.
man. Because you can't be biased,
Right.
you know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like especially like you have a lot of the scholars, like the Bible scholars, that say that there was a silence between the last prophet, which is Malachi, and
Yeah.
so-called New Testament, which is a complete lie, because
No.
yeah, that's the 400 years of so-called quote unquote silence were the bloodiest of times
The
for our
apocrypha
Israelites.
even more. Apocrypha
Yeah.
more. Even like, after, what happened with the Israelites after the time, after, if you look into the new, what happened after the New Testament, you know what I'm saying? That's, the temple was destroyed, like was 70 AD. Israelites were taken as slaves, to the Rhine, to like Germany, to Rhine, northern Italy, to like North Africa, like Morocco, not like West, not like they didn't go no sub-Saharan Africa. They went to like North Africa. They were taken to Egypt as slaves,
Mm.
stuff like that. But there was a lot that stayed in the land, and they had, like, you look more in the history, they had the Balkova, was it Balkova rebellion too, because they had another leader who rose up. There's a lot of history.
Nice, bro. Yeah, it seems like you're very well studied when it comes to that history, bro. That's good.
You got to be,
Yeah, yeah. You should
I'm an
one of
Israelite.
these days you should bring that out.
Yeah, try to get my boy to one of my friends to come on.
What's his name?
And, I think he was on here. Mind of Joshua.
Okay.
He has a channel. He does like videos about about the Israelite history, especially at that time period too. He has a lot
Mm.
of history,
Is he like a Gemini too, or what?
No, he's an Israelite, but his family goes back to Iraq, the Iraqi Israelites, and the
Nice.
Iraqi Israelites, they stayed there in the time of Ezra and Esther. So
Esther, right?
they have an ancient community in Baghdad.
They do, bro. They do that. What? Don't they speak? What's it called? Don't they speak Aramaic or something?
Yeah, they speak Aramaic and Hebrew.
Yeah, and they have the Peshitta. They're like the Peshitta scriptures and all that.
Yeah, they have all that.
Nice, bro. Yeah,
They
man.
have all.
Before, like when I was a Christian, bro, I always wanted to travel like to that side of the world and like live among themselves, and then
Yeah,
just learn like their stuff, learn like all that, bro. Because that
yeah,
always like kind of like drew me in, even
yeah.
until now, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Look into also they got a group, they're kind of like Gnostics, but they're the Mandaeans, and they follow John the Baptist, right? They follow John the Baptist. And they say that they're from Judea. They're from Judea, they're Israelites, but they fled to I think they're like in Iraq and Iran. They're called the Mandeans.
Yeah, I believe it, bro. I believe it because even in the New Testament, I remember when John was in jail, and
Yeah,
then his disciples, like literally, like John had disciples, like he had hundreds of disciples that follow him. So
yeah.
yeah, I believe that.
That's why you got, you look into the Mandeans, you look at a lot of the people that are still Israelites because people know that they're Israelites. So that's why you can use like the Mandeans, and you can use a lot of the people like the Israelites that are in Iraq, and you can use it against a lot of these Canaanites.
The one West, right? The ones
Yeah,
with bullshit.
you can use it against one West.
Yeah,
You
maybe
know,
you want to write down those names on the comment board, bro, so I can like take a screenshot real quick.
just I'll just tell you how to spell it. Mandeans.
Hold on, hold on. MU.
No,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Mandeans.
Mandias, okay.
Indians. And then also look at the Jews in Iraq, the Jews that are in Baghdad. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? The Israelites, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll,
yeah.
we'll we'll look them up, bro, and we'll have them. I'm gonna research them and find out like what's going on, and then have like a little note foot on a mental footnote on that little timeline,
Yeah.
and when we bring that out, we're gonna bring that out too with the Canaanites and stuff.
Yeah. It's just the whole history's there. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Right, right.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
never went into like, like they say, oh, after the temple was destroyed, in 70 AD, we all fled, to West Africa to some. No, because they're taking out slaves, and a lot of the Israelites they stayed there. Yeah, I'm saying then, over time they left. You still got the Samaritans, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, and even during the times of Christ, you have a lot of Jews that they knew that they were Israelites, but they didn't get along with the Jews because of
yeah.
because of the split of ancient times, like the
Look at the
enmity.
Samaritans.
Yeah,
The Samaritans are still in the land, and stuff.
right. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, Christ was talking to a Samaritan woman on the
Yeah.
well, and so on and so forth.
Well, I think that one, no, but that one woman, like he was like spitting like bread. She's like, I know my place, like I'm a dog or whatever.
Well,
That
no,
was a
that's
Canaanite,
well
wasn't that?
that was a Canaanite woman. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it was
that
a
was a
Canaanite. Yeah,
Syro-Phoenician woman, like a Syro
yeah,
Sidonian
Canaanite.
woman. Yeah.
A Canaanite.
Yeah, so she was a Canaanite,
Yeah,
but like the other woman, like the actual Shemite, the Samaritan woman,
yeah,
she's an Israelite.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's New Testament. You got a lot of Samaritans. I think what was that one dude? That one dude. One of the dudes. He was like, I think he's like an Acts. He started like the Gnosticism. He started like the Nag Hammadi stuff.
What's
He
his
was a
name?
Samaritan as well. He's like a magician. He's a black magician, and he wanted to be baptized because like he wanted like the
Oh, in the
Holy
Book of
Spirit.
Acts, right?
Yeah, he wanted like the
Well, I
Holy
don't know if
Spirit,
he was. Yeah, I don't know if he was a Gnostic, but I know that like,
the Nag Hammadi and stuff.
yeah, I know that like they had
Mhm.
like a woman that had the
Yeah,
spirit of Python with like a spirit of divination. And
yeah,
so when Apostle Paul was going around in the Book of Acts, like preaching the gospel and so on and so forth, she
yeah.
knew who he was before everybody knew
Yeah.
about Paul.
Yeah. I think it
Yeah,
was
and
like Simon. No, it was like I don't know. Was it Simeon? No, it was Simon something. Simon Magus. I think it was like Simon
Simeon,
Magus.
like, are you talking about Simeon the Canaanite? They call him.
Oh, he was a Canaanite. I thought he was a Samaritan.
Well, no, like they call him Canaanite, but that's like I think that's a mistranslation.
Oh, because I
Yeah, I
think it was
think
Simeon the
I
Magus.
think it was supposed to be translated as Simeon the Zealot because he was from
Yeah,
from the Sicarii, like he was from like the band of the Sicarii back in the
yeah,
time of the Romans. So
yeah. But
yeah,
the
the
modern
whole
day Sakari are not the same Sakari.
right, yeah, like these
Yeah,
whole
totally
these
different.
whole dudes are a bunch of posers anyway.
Yeah. But you look at a lot of like I think like Magus, and stuff. Because like the Nag Hammadi scriptures, they have a lot of like Neoplatonism and stuff like that in it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Ruby, because I have that
Yeah,
book. I have all
yeah,
the scrolls. Yeah, I have the scrolls on that.
yeah.
Um,
But a lot of it's written by like because it was written. I think they found it in It was in Coptic, but it's originally in Greek because it has a lot of
Yeah,
Greek
well,
philosophy and stuff in it.
right. Well, you have a lot of these a lot of the Hebrews that basically separated from the nation,
Yeah,
and like the Nahamadi scriptures, bro. They were not tampered with by no what would you call it, the councils. Like you have the Council of Nicaea and all the
yeah.
different councils
The
that took
Council of
place.
Carthage, the Council of Carthage which was with the canon, was with the canon, and the Council of Nicaea was with the deity of Christ.
Right, but what my point in
Yeah,
saying that is that like the Nahmadi were not tampered with by none of those.
uh,
So even the scrolls were basically found like just the way they were written. They were
yeah,
not like they were just translated, and like you were
yeah.
saying, like
Mhm.
Coptic and Greek.
Yeah, you should
So,
look into that. If you like that, like if you're, I'm not into the Nag Hammadi, like I'm not into like the Nag Hammadi and stuff. Like I don't
bro,
deal like
I am
I
like I have it all highlighted here. You see
I
that?
deal with the Dead Sea Scrolls though. Like the Dead Sea Scrolls are different though because they're with the Zadokites and stuff like that. But you should
Well,
look into.
even the Dead Sea Scrolls, bro. Like they're also like they have like some certain weird aspects to them because what would you call it? You have the 12 constellations there,
Yeah, well,
and
you have mysticism. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You have
you have
mysticism.
mysticism. You have like the what's his name? Gilgamesh. The story of Gilgamesh there, bro. And
Yeah,
Gilgamesh is basically nothing more than Sumerian writings, like this
yeah. I don't think
ancient
I've seen
tablet
Gilgamesh
of
in there.
Of
I have to
Gilgamesh, the
look.
demigod. You know what
I
I'm
have to
saying?
look.
So,
I have to check. I have to see because I don't think I've seen Gilgamesh. I know they have the full. You know, they have all the Tanakh. They have the most of the apocryphal books. They have the Book of Jubilees. They have the Book of Enoch. They have the 12 patriarchs. You know.
mhm.
Yeah, you spelled it right, but before the S, there's an N. Mendians.
Okay.
Yeah, but you should look into that. I think you'll like them if you're like into like the Nag Hammadi stuff. If you're in, because they're into that. Like they're Gnostics. Like they're the only last. Like they're the last like ancient group of like Gnostics. You know, and they keep the tradition and stuff. If you're still there. Yeah.
Bro, you there? Yo.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
but
right.
look
So,
into the Mandaeans because the Mandaeans are like the only ancient group of like Gnostics still
okay.
left, and that kept the
Damn, bro.
tradition.
Yeah, I know because a lot of the Gnostics basically were persecuted by the Catholic Church, but they were killed
Yeah.
off. Like literally, they were being persecuted all throughout the world.
And they
But
claim, and the Mandaeans claim to also be Israelites. They claim to be originally from Judea
mm,
as well. So they claim to be Israelites from Judea, and they're also, into that.
bro, I think I don't know if it's cave one. Let me see. I don't know if you can see the comment. Hold on, right there.
Okay.
You see it as the Book of Giants, cave four, line 203, cave one, line 23, cave two. Right there, look them up. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
that's
gonna
where
look
it
them
talks
up.
about.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna look them up
that's where
because
it
I know
talked
the
about.
Book
Like,
of Giants. It usually talks about like the Nephilim.
yeah, well, the Nephilim, well, Gilgamesh was a Nephilim himself. He was an
Yeah,
Anunnaki. So yeah,
yeah,
so I know the Dead Sea Scrolls also deals with all the esoteric mysticism and all
yeah.
those.
Well, I know like a lot of the because I know what you're like. You have one video with Cornel Lawal, right? I know he's like into the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff like that. So I know a lot of cats are. And the
Yeah,
Dead Sea Scrolls has a lot of mysticism, very
yeah,
ancient.
he's into all that, right? He's into all that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
you know,
But yeah, man, it's a lot of things, bro. A lot of things that we can go over and talk about, bro. We can be here all night, man.
keep it real.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
be here all night, bro. Like we can be sharing a lot of stuff, bro. Going to different things, bro. Like but uh We can save it from another day, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely, bro, and definitely, I'm gonna bring out the like the study of the Kabbalah and like the
Yeah,
understanding
except for
behind,
Yetzirah.
yeah, the Torah and
Yeah,
all that stuff, the tree of life and whatever. Like, I'm gonna bring all that
yeah,
out, bro. Maybe I'm gonna prepare for that. I'm gonna get all my precepts and my,
yeah. We got that one precept I gave you in Jubilees, right?
yeah, I wrote it down, bro. Thank you for that, bro. But
Yeah, you use that precept.
uh,
So if anybody says, "Oh, that has nothing to do with scripture," just use that precept.
right, yeah, I know. I I got more precepts when it comes to like the so-called tree of life, the separate, and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring
definitely.
that out, bro, for just to give the understanding to the people, because that the tree of life, the menorah, the human being, it's all
Yeah,
connected, bro, to that, and it has many aspects of
definitely.
you growing, learning, elevating yourself,
Yeah,
spiritually growing, evolving.
yeah,
You all gotta evolve, bro.
yeah. Well, I know you were also like earlier you were looking and you were showing like the chart of like the human body and showing like basically like the points of like they what they call like the chakras, right? But like the points of energy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying points of energy, and like they say like that's this like even in the Quran, like in the Quran it refers to like the seven heavens, and it's actually referring to the seven chakras within the body.
Yeah, I know, bro. But
Yeah,
again, like, and a lot of these aspects that we're talking about, bro, is hidden away within the book itself, both the New and the Old Testament too. Because
yeah,
mainly, like the New Testament, bro, there's a lot of it's a lot of mysticism.
that's
It's
pure
a lot of
astrological.
huh?
Like that one scripture I gave you in Luke.
Uh huh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What
Yeah.
about
Like
that?
yeah. That's like mysticism. That's astrology. That's astronomy, bro.
Yeah,
That's Gnosticism too. But it's a lot of stuff that
yeah,
is hidden away in the books that a lot of brothers don't read, and they think, oh, it's just the physical form or aspects of things, and it's not. So, but
yeah,
yeah, like the whole thing about the seven chakras. That's basically what we read in Revelation when it talks about like the seven churches and seven
yeah,
angels, seven
yeah. Same
spirits,
kind of
which is
spirits. Yeah,
connected to the seven branches of the menorah. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
seven spirits of the Most High.
and also the seven classical planets too. You know, because you got
Yeah.
like the seven classical planets is what the sun, Mercury, the moon, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars and Venus.
Yep. Yep.
Refers to that. Be seven is a very, numbers are very spiritual. Seven's a very spirit 7, 12, they're very spiritual numbers.
Three, right? Number
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
Yeah. Number
Even
three.
when
Number
it
six.
yes,
Yeah.
nine,
All the
nine
like
too.
all
Nine is the number
morality
of
has.
salvation.
Huh?
Yeah. Even like like the number nine is salvation. Even like the numbers like 666 means what 666 means is the beast. It means like the animal man. I'm saying the beastly man. But the seven is the inner man, is the
Right.
spiritual man.
Like the
I'm saying
perfection. Right.
that's why you can use like if you look at like this like the Magan David or the Magan Dawad, it has like yeah you can put 6 6 in it, but they never go into that one center, into that one point, and the point right in the middle, and that point right in the middle is a seven, which represents the spiritual man.
Mm,
You know,
right. 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 Yeah,
yeah,
man. All those aspects, like going back to the esoteric aspects of the Bible. That's something that,
yeah,
and is what we read in the book of Daniel when it talks about that the book has been sealed. Well, the book
yeah,
has been sealed today, and so, and that's why as a matter of fact, let me read it out.
yeah,
The book
definitely.
of Isaiah, because the book of Isaiah tells you that like people read the book, but they don't understand what they're even reading. So they have to be like expounded on upon by someone else. So let me see, where is it at? Yeah, it's right here. It says Isaiah chapter 28, verse 11. It says, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which man delivered to one that is learned, saying,
Hmm.
read these, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. You see?
Yeah,
So, in order to unlock the mysteries thereof, like, we have to learn these first
you
in
got
order.
it.
Yeah, the language right there, because the language
Yeah,
is, is the key that unlocks like the seals, like the
Mhm.
seals of Solomon, like the seals that
Yeah, the seals are different. Look up. I want you to look up Abraham al-Adafi. Al-Adafi.
man, you gotta write these things down, bro, because
Yeah.
um,
Because he was a Israelite mystic. He was an Israelite mystic in Al Andalus. Al Andalus was like more Spain, right? And he was an Israelite mystic. Because you got Al Andalus. That's like one of the biggest points of history when it comes to like Hebrew mysticism.
let me write down my email, bro. Maybe you can send it to my email.
Let
Hold
me
on.
see sent your email.
Yeah. Um. Gmail. Yeah, that's my email, bro, right there. I
All
don't know
right,
if you see it, but that's my email. You can send me anything you want right there, bro.
I
Any
got you.
information, any articles, whatever it is that you want to send me, bro, just send it right there,
Yeah,
bro.
definitely.
It's much better, bro. That way, I can research farther out and find out what's going on. Cause I know what you're talking about, bro. But
Yeah,
certain I don't know,
yeah,
like you do
definitely.
and so on and so forth. So,
Yeah.
but I like researching. So,
You got it. Well, that's why it debunks a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of pseudo, stuff that goes on. You just got to research the history. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And stuff. Especially that's why, like, like with the Sephardim, the Israelites that were in Spain, there's holy moly, there's so much,
Right.
a lot of history.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that like we can again, like we can talk about these
Yeah.
things, and there's things that I don't know, there's things that you don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, and
Yeah.
it's important to know these things and talk about these things
Yeah.
because you have
Mhm.
brothers that are listening that they themselves can actually go and research for themselves and find out for
You got it.
themselves. It's a
You
good
got it.
thing to have conversations like this because that
Yeah.
expounds like people's knowledge and perspectives on like the Israelites and
Yeah.
who's here and there and what timelines are and so on and so forth. So
Definitely.
it's good that you're bringing this out because that way minds are sparked to
Mhm.
go and find out and research. So
Yeah. Spirit of the Most High.
right, wisdom.
Yeah.
So
Hikmah.
let me read the scripture out, bro, before we close out. 2 Corinthians chapter 3:18, it says, but we all with open face beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. So,
Mhm.
us learning things, finding out about certain things and subjects, is what allows us to move from glory to glory, right? From elevation to elevation, from light to light. So it's
Yeah.
important to learn. It's important to listen, like what the brother is bringing out, because all these things spark things of curiosity in the mind, and that curiosity is what moves us from glory to elevation, because we're finding out certain things, truths are being unearthed. And so, I want to bring the scripture out
Yeah.
before we close it out. Anybody else want to say anything else? Anybody else want to say anything else before we close out?
No, just go at it. Let me see.
Yeah, man. Once again, brothers, we have a Facebook group called Guardians for Truth. Brothers can join. We're on Instagram, Ancient Watchman, and obviously,
Yeah.
you guys know that our YouTube channel. You brothers
Yeah.
can, like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Don't forget to click the bell so that you guys are notified when we go live or when we drop a video. And then
Hmm.
stick around, bro, because we're gonna be bringing out more subjects that has to do with like the deep sayings or dark sayings of the Torah and the commandments and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, today I want to bring out like the understanding behind the mixed fabrics and why are we not allowed to mix fabrics or wear mixed fabrics. Now the question is having mixed fabrics like a sin? Like, are you gonna be punished for breaking that commandment? No, you're not. It's just simply like it has to do with the health issue of like energetic or negative ions being absorbed
Mhm.
through certain fabrics, like mixing cotton and linen. One being of an animal, like cotton being of that of an animal, and linen being of a plant.
Mhm.
Plant and animals don't go together,
Because
and
the
so
cells are
having
different.
Ah,
The cells, they have different cells. Their cells aren't, like the energy, when the cells combine, the energy gets all messed up.
yeah, yeah, and it creates like an energetic imbalance within the
Hmm.
human body, just like we read earlier, right? So, it creates some sort of a static. It also charges the body to the point that you can get heat up, you can get sick, you can get a headache, and so on and so forth. So, the whole idea behind not mixing fabrics, or I mean, not wearing mixed fabrics, is the idea that you being protected
Hmm.
of not being overly charged with negative ions on your body, which also affects your etheric body, right? Like the mental, your spiritual, emotional bodies that you have, like the layers outside your physical self. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
basically the understanding behind the mixed fabrics that we're not supposed to be wearing. But once again, if brothers are wearing mixed fabrics, is that a sin? Are you in the midst of sin? Are you gonna die? No, you're not gonna be put to death. None of
Health.
that stuff. But it's just like a health precaution of not to
With
wear like those fabrics.
instructions.
Huh?
Because Torah means instruction. What I'm saying? It's instruction, because it's like usually people, like a lot of people, they say, oh, Torah, that just means law. No, Torah also means instruction. Instruction for the physical, but also the spiritual as well. You know,
Right. Right. Right, man. So yeah, so that's
both
the spiritual.
aspects.
Yeah, man. So that's the spiritual instruction that the whole idea behind Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 11, as to not wear mixed fabrics of linen and cotton. Is
Yeah.
that's the understanding.
Hmm.
It creates some sort of negative electric charge in your body that affects your mind, yourself, your health, your genes, your frequency within, because your blood has frequency, also harmonics, and so
Hmm.
it disrupts all of that. So that's why people sometimes they can get uneasy, they can get you know irritated pretty quickly, or angry pretty quickly, and so on and so forth. So that is why
Also, what you
because
eat as well.
uh
Yeah. Also, what you eat as well. Like, eating pork, right? Like, you can eat pork, right? But the thing about eating pork, it's bad for your body. It's bad for your spirit as well, because you know how they have the saying, "You are what you eat." Yeah, I'm
right,
saying. And that's why
right.
we're encouraged, like in the Passover, to eat the lamb, because the lamb, it also represents obedience to the Most High. It represents obedience.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but that's like another subject in itself. But yeah, man, all of that, and that's what I wanted to bring out. Hopefully you brothers understood that and you guys follow. For those who stuck around until the end, man, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I hope you guys were edified. I mean, I know the conversation, went off to another subject, but it's
Yeah,
good,
but they enjoyed it. They got. I mean, people, they got information. Like
Yeah,
listening, they get information. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right, and that's what I'm saying. That's the beautiful thing about conversations, that sometimes
build.
brothers don't know a subject, and other brothers don't know a subject, and it's important to, we edify each other out. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like brother saying, it's all about information. So now you brothers found out about the brothers, the Mandia tribes and stuff,
Mandans, yeah, Mandans.
and
Yeah,
can research, and that's our people also. And then obviously we're
yeah.
scattered everywhere. So well, that's
It's
also
good.
some of the information that can be used against, like battling these Negroites, these Canaanites, and Egyptians in these Hamitic camps. And obviously,
Yeah,
you have all these Hamitic dudes that come and listen in the background. They don't say anything. They're just there, just watching,
yeah,
listening what we say sometimes, because we caught them before, bro. But
yeah.
it's their demise is at hand. Their thing is
Yeah.
has been destroyed. All their setups, all their little camps and synagogues, Satan, bro. They're have been
Yeah.
exposed. So they got nowhere to run, bro, but complain and cry.
Hmm.
So
Easy. Well, you only doing lives on Fridays, or are you gonna do it on Mondays too, or just Fridays?
I'm gonna start on Mondays, bro, because
Yeah.
I stopped doing Mondays because I was sick, bro. I'm
Okay. I
I'm
hope you
I'm
get better,
I'm
man. May the
yeah, I'm a
Most
lot
High
better
heal
now.
you. That's good.
Brothers that want to keep us in your prayers, bro. Keep us in your prayers, bro. Please, that we get well, that we continue to do this
Most
thing
High.
to edify, the people, and to bring in more brothers like, like Jose Vega, like you, like any other brothers that wanna like, you know contribute to the cause, because
Definitely.
that's all it is. It's a contribution to the cause of the awakening of the tribes, and helping out the tribes also to grow and mature spiritually and emotionally too. So that's why we're here, and we're here to also like challenge the status quo and challenge a lot of these doctrines that are running around, like, deceiving our people with like
Definitely.
simplicity and simple doctrines and one-dimensional doctrines also. So that's why we're here too.
The chill platform, that's why I come on, I don't really come on a lot of, like, I see Jose on some other panels, some other channels, and they're just yelling, arguing, and like it gives me a headache. Like, this is calm and relax,
Right.
good energy, you
Yeah, we're
know.
pretty chill, man. We're pretty chill. I mean, when it's time to like get heat up, like we get heat
Yeah,
up, especially
definitely.
when we have like guests on our panel that are completely off, or they're running their
Yeah,
mouths, or they're teaching lies, especially a lot of these scams, bro.
I'm trying to
We call them
hamify the
out, you know what I'm
scripture.
saying? Vega
I say
comes
that.
out with like, yeah, with the sword, bro, like
Got it.
like destroyer that he is. But I mean, when it comes to edifying our people, we're just chill. We're just chilling.
Yeah, you got to, like the thing about them camps, you know what I'm saying? Like, or especially a lot of those band to awakening dudes or whatever, they want to hamify the scriptures, hamify the Israelites.
Yeah, they're blackwashing our stuff, bro. Like they're Hamitic. They're like putting bondage onto it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
I'm not gonna accept you. I'm sorry. I mean, I think like West Africa, they got a lot of cool cultures. Like they got a lot of cool like the IFA stuff. They got a lot of cool stuff. So why don't they stick to what they do? They want
They
to
do, bro.
hamify my
They got
culture.
beautiful cultures, bro. They got beautiful costumes, bro. Like colorful, this and that and the third. Like why do they have the need to steal like Native American culture,
Yeah,
Our Shemitic culture, our
Israelite culture.
book, and all these other things, bro? They got their own
Yeah,
stuff. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
definitely.
But we're saying, what we're saying right now, we're literally fulfilling prophecy also, because
Yeah,
scripture says that the Mosai was gonna move us to jealousy by giving our
yeah,
stuff to the nations.
yeah. I mean, I feel that. Like I was talking to one dude. He was like this one. Like he wasn't a camp dude, but he was like a band two awakening dude, right?
Hmm.
Um, and he's just hamifying stuff. He's just hamifying. He's like, oh, they were black, they were black. I'm like, bro, you got your own culture. Like, bro, I'm an Israelite 24/7. Like, I'm not white, I'm not black, I'm not this. I'm an Israelite.
Right.
I was raised an Israelite. I was born an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. They're trying to steal my heritage and say, oh, that's not a part of me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they don't look nothing like me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I don't mind like you guys saying you're of the of the tribes, or I don't mind the Pashtuns and stuff because there's a connection. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely a connection. Even like I look at a lot of the native, like I was like in Arizona, or I go to like the native places, and I feel like, bro, like, am I like a native? Like I don't like saying I'm a native, but I kind of feel like it because I'm connected to it in a way.
Yeah, man.
And it's
Like the
crazy.
scripture says, like the scripture says, like the spirit bears witness with our
It
spirit that we
does.
are the sons of God. Like we're the endeos, like the
Yeah,
children of
definitely.
God, bro.
That's
And
what
it's
the
like
word comes from.
yeah, like the word
You know?
endeos means the children of God.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we're gonna sign out, bro. Once
All right.
again, thank you for being here, man. Thanks for
You
sharing
too, man.
a
May
lot
the
of
Most High
things.
bless you. May the Most High be with you. Shalom Shabbat.
All right, Shabbat Shalom out. All right, man, everybody. Once again, we're the Ancient Watch, man. We're always here. Again, we're gonna start doing Monday and Friday night podcast. I kind of stopped because I was a little bit sick, man. But man, we're back. We're gonna continue to do this thing to edify our people, and to bring in, invite again, once again, we do these lives to invite a lot of these Negro lives too to come and talk to us.
I
You
also
know,
bring people. I tell people about you. I told a few other people about you. I told my boy about your platform. I told a few, some Israelites that are still in the land, like in the Middle East and stuff about your platform. So get more people on.
yeah, man, that'd be great because that will be like a testimony, against these Negro lives, bro. Because then they'll find out, like, oh, hey, we got Israelites that are from the other side of the world, bro, like from the land and the
Yeah,
Arab countries and so on and so forth. Because we're
definitely.
all Shemitic, bro, and it's like we're always
Yeah,
saying like
them.
if we were to travel to the Middle East right now, like we could easily blend in with the rest of the
Yeah,
tribes,
definitely. They
easily, bro.
couldn't. They couldn't.
Yeah,
They're like,
but they
what are
couldn't,
these
right?
guys doing? Like
Right.
Zion Lex, Zion Lex, that guy, he looks totally, he's like from the Congo. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of these guys, bro, a lot of these guys, they don't look like they don't look like, they'll say, oh, like the modern day, like, oh, they're Ishmaelites or this and that. But hey, Ishmaelites are from Abraham.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? They don't
exactly.
know, you know?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So all the Shemitic tribes that are still in existence today
Yeah,
in the ancient land, bro, they still look like Hispanics, Native Americans, bro. And
yeah,
we all
yeah,
look alike, bro. They're our
yeah,
family, they're our cousins, they're our faraway cousins or whatever they like,
yeah,
bro. Our
definitely.
primos, you know what I'm saying?
The land of
So yeah,
Shem,
man,
you know what I'm saying?
it's all Shem, bro. It's all Shem.
Shem got the middle, like Shem got the Middle East. I would say a lot of parts of North Africa too. They got the Americas, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The Ham, they got the South, you know what I'm saying? They got Africa, they got like sub-Saharan Africa. You know what I'm saying? That's the land of Ham. Japheth, he got the North, he got Europe, and he got like Russia and China and stuff, Japan.
Right. Right, man. Right. So yeah, man. So hey, again, once again, everybody, thanks for being here, bro. I'm glad you brought stuck around. I hope you guys learned something. Every time we go live on a podcast, bro, we try to bring out something new, something fresh for the people. MaYaM waters to the people to irrigate the minds. You know what I'm saying? So, and the spiritual land of the people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do.
And it's spiritual.
We do over Monday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, any Negroites that are listening in the background, bro, you guys are welcome to join the panel and actually discuss your doctrines and how you guys don't fit the curses and how Canaan has was cursed to be the lowest of all slaves unto all the Shemitic and Japhetic and Hamitic tribes. So,
Yeah,
hey, we're here to discuss that. We hear you guys want to debate that. We can talk
yeah,
about it, bro.
yeah.
Other than that, man, shout out to all the tribes. Shout out to all the people that are putting in the work, bro. Shout out to all the men and women that keep us in your prayers, bro, so that we can continue to do this and so that wisdom is increased, so that we can teach more and more and more.
Mhm.
And just like the scripture says, that so that we can go from glory to glory, from elevation to elevation, from light to light, and that's basically what it is, and it
Yeah.
all comes down to that, bro. So
All
that we
praise the
can able
Most
to grow.
High.
But yeah, man. Hey, Yemenite man, thanks for being here. Jose Vega, you there, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Is there anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to say?
I want to do the Shema.
No, I just
Shema
wanted to
Israel, Yahweh.
quick about when he was talking about them trying to make the book an African book or whatever. The biggest pusher of that is that clown Black Jesus Minister.
Oh my, that guy is holy moly. That is Ha Satan.
Yeah, he's trying. Yeah, I think I made a class about that on Facebook, showing
Yeah.
how JJ 7000 and them are trying to make the book into a Hamite book.
Nah, nah. Well, he tries to push, like he tries to say, "Oh, voodoo and all that." So I saw, I think, well, I seen him debate. Like I saw my son that he was like debating polite or whatever, and like, "Oh, voodoo." It's like he's like saying it's all in one. He's like saying, "Oh, all
Bro,
that
I
African
know,
stuff is all
bro.
in one."
I heard him
He's just
say that, bro.
he's a they're he's no he he has a spirit of like Nimrod. Like that's a Nimrod spirit, bro. That's like the spirit of Nimrod.
That's
Because he
crazy.
wants to
Yeah,
push all
I've
that
heard
ham.
cats. Yeah, man, I've heard cats talk about like the whole thing about voodoo and like voodoo going back to like how they want to connect it to the Hebrew and like the Hebrew customs of voodoo and all
Yeah,
sort of things. Like, bro, like, are you kidding me?
yeah. Voodoo's ham. That's for ham, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
They
that's
do that in Africa. Like that. They do that in like Benin. That's where it comes from. Because they still keep
right.
the custom. And like especially in Haitians they say they say like they had one thing. I think it was Sakari, right? And he compared like how like they in voodoo like the Haitians they throw chicken
Oh my
bones, right?
gosh.
And he was like
Yeah,
comparing that to the Ifa.
Yeah, bro.
That's
Or
fucking
when they talk,
crazy,
oh
bro.
no, when they talk about like the blessings of Genesis 40, what is it, 49, when it talks about the instruments of cruelty between Ephraim and Simeon, and
Yeah.
how the
Okay.
that yeah, and how the instruments of cruelty is talking about voodoo, bro.
It's crazy too. How could Haitian, even on the chart, right? Even if you go with it, how can Haitians be the Levites? Because the Levites, they did not get a land inheritance. And Haiti,
Right.
they have their own country, they have their own flag. So how would even Haiti be the Levites? And also, where's the tribe of Dan? You get what I'm saying?
That's
Because
yeah, that's a cut to the 12 tribe
because
chart.
Dan is still like a lot of these cats. They say, "Oh, Dan's not a part." Well, how is Dan not a part? Where does it say Dan's not a part of the tribes no more? Dan's still a part of the tribes. You know?
Well, that's why, because they read the Revelations chapter 7,
Yeah.
I
Well,
believe.
that's the thing. That's the thing about when it comes to like, I don't like. There's a lot of good stuff in the New Testament, but that's where it comes. A lot of it. But I guess maybe some manuscripts. Maybe there's older manuscripts. I gotta look into. But yeah, where is the tribe of Dan? Because I know in
Well,
Ezekiel, in
yeah,
Ezekiel
Ezekiel
there's Dan.
37. Yeah,
There's
In
Dan
Ezekiel we
Ezekiel.
read of Dan. Yeah,
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 you know.
yeah. That's another thing, bro. Yeah, I brought this out before. Like, I believe that the Danites were basically like the Spartans of
I
during the
do
time of the
too.
Greeks. Yeah,
I
yeah.
do too.
We read that in the book of Maccabees when
Yeah.
what's the Lasmonians? No, what is it called? Yeah, the Lasmonians. I don't
Mm.
know. Some brothers. I think the
Yeah, they were like
Lasmonians.
we're brothers. They were
Yeah,
saying we're both from the stock of A. Well, I don't know if they said they didn't say they were is they said they were both from the stock of Abraham.
yeah, but then
Yeah.
they say that they're brothers. So if they're brothers, that
Yeah,
means they're
definitely.
part of the tribes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So I believe the Spartans were our people too.
Yeah, well, definitely, definitely like a lot of like I believe, especially a lot of the gypsies and stuff like that. I think they're both like some of them are the Northern Kingdom, but a lot of them are both the Southern and the Northern.
Right.
Because they're still together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it says in the scriptures, what does it say? Jude. It said, was it? I think it's in Isaiah. Is it in Jeremiah or Isaiah? It says that Judah and Ephraim will be oppressed together. So that's why
Jeremiah.
I say, yeah. So that's why I say, like, even in Latin America, like, there was a lot of Sephardic Israelites. They fled to Latin America, and they're still oppressed together in Latin America.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Come, bro. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. So what we were talking about, First Maccabees chapter 12, verse 20. It says Areos, king of the Lacedaemonians, to Onias the high priest, greeting. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and that they are of the stock of Abraham. You see,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah, man, I believe the Spartans were our people too, and this is and the reason why I say that, bro, is because even like you have in the movie 300, bro. Remember the movie
Yeah,
300? And you have
yeah,
the Spartans. The Spartans had their own country, like their own little city
yeah.
with their own laws, their own
Yeah.
commandments. They
Well, all
had
the
their
Greeks
king.
had that, but all the
Huh?
Gr- all the Greeks, like the thing about Greece, like that time they all had like little city states. They
Right.
had like Athens, they had Thebes, they had
Oh
Macedon.
yeah,
They
no,
all
no,
split.
yeah, I understand
Yeah,
that,
they
like
never
provinces.
equal.
Well, those are provinces, but I'm talking
No,
about
no,
like
they had their own kings. They had a similar culture. Like they all worshiped the same gods, ate the same foods, right? But they all had different kings under the city state.
pretty
You know
interesting,
what I'm
bro.
saying? So you look at the history, and then after, like, I think it was like Alexander, the Greek. What I'm saying? Some call him Alexander the Fag. They say he was. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But his father, his father Philip, he conquered all of Greece and he united it, and that's how Alexander got to rule Greece, and then he defeated the Persians, and that goes into the history, and especially the history with the Maccabees, because the Maccabees was after Alexander the Greek.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. So going back to what I was saying, bro, like even in the movie, like it shows you like you have like the emissary of the Persians. Remember the Persians, bro, that basically came and conquered like the Spartans.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I mean, I don't know, bro. I believe there were Israelites. I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely. Well, it says that in the well, it's yeah, it says they're from the same stock of Abraham, so they were
yeah,
Israelites.
and
Definitely.
and the reason why I believe there were are people is because even like Dan symbol is what is the snake, right?
Snake, yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So
Spartans
so
had
when
the snake. The Spartans, their
yeah, bro.
symbol was a snake too. Okay,
You
yeah,
uh,
so yeah, definitely
yeah,
Dan.
there's Spartans shields and some other ships that it had a snake, bro.
Mhm. And definitely too, like you know how like Sam's was it Samsung and Hercules, Samson and Hercules, right? Like it's like basically very similar stories. Obviously a
Right.
little different, but that's where I think they got the story of Hercules from Samson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that correlates. You know, because I think the Spartans they said they were descendants. Yeah, they said they were descendants of Hercules.
Mm, I mean, could be, bro. Could
Yeah,
be.
they claimed that. You know, so Hercules is Samson. Yeah, so that's why you gotta look into the other mythology because a lot of the mythology, I know like a lot of the mythologies, they correlate to the scriptures. Yeah, I'm saying,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, that's why I go into like all of it. I study everything. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying.
bro. See, watch this. It's right here, bro. You see that? You see the snake? You see the Spartan?
Yeah, yeah,
You see the
definitely.
Spartan? And
Yeah,
you see how he looks like a Shemitic brother? You like
yeah.
the nose and like the hair
No,
and
he was
stuff. Like
black.
definitely not a Negro like
Yeah,
Hamitic
definitely.
classical type. Like a lot of these one West be saying is like you see the ancient
Yeah,
Greeks. The
yeah.
ancient Jephthahs were Negroes, so on and so forth. Like, bro, stop it.
Well,
But
I know one dude, like I think it was on the Source. I was watching the Source, right? Like they have a debate league called the Source Debate League. Like they're a part of the Lions, and but they split. There was like this one like weird. I don't know what. I think he was like He was a Canaanite, but he's like into everything. Like he's like I'm a Canaanite, I'm a Moor, I'm a Chemite, I'm a Muslim, I'm an Israelite, and he was showing one Spartan, right? And he was like, "Oh, this is a black dude. He has dreads, and like, bro, like that doesn't mean he's black because the Spartans, a lot of they painted the males as black and they painted the women as white.
yeah, it's right there. You see what you
Show
see here
gender and
too.
stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right there. See, the woman is
Actually
white right there.
The Spartan looked like Quanah Lawa,
Right,
because he has dreads.
right. I mean, our people had dreads anyways. Like
Yeah, Well, I
that
believe,
nation.
definitely, they're saying he's Italian or whatever, but I still think I don't know if he's elite. I don't know what tribe, but I believe he's an Israelite because, there was a lot of Israelites that were taken as slaves after 70 AD, after the temple was destroyed, and they were taken as slaves to Italy. So there's a lot of Israelites in Italy.
Yeah, a lot of what would you call it? A lot of gypsies too. There was a lot of
Yeah,
gypsies there.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why I believe that's where I think the gypsy, because I think the gypsy is like just a slang word, but I think the gypsies, my personal view, I think the gypsies are a part of that. Like that's how they started. Like they started as slaves in like Rome, like Israelite slaves. And the other gypsies too, because gypsies is like you have a lot of different groups of gypsies,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But definitely, I believe gypsies started from that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, a
and
lot of.
stuff.
I mean, not even in Rome, bro. Like going back to the Byzantine Empire, a lot of the gypsies
Yeah,
enslaved. Like for example, during the times of the Byzantine Empire, you have a lot of the gypsies that were enslaved there for 500 years.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
and
And a
then
lot
they
of people they don't talk about
yeah,
that. They don't
yeah,
talk
and then
about that history.
yeah, and then they were also enslaved during the times where they were when they arrived in India. They served them in the military there, and
Yeah.
then from there, obviously, they went to the Byzantine Empire. They were enslaved for 500 years there, and then after that, they kept moving westwards, and that's when they arrived to Spain, uh,
Yeah.
uh, given passage by the Catholic Church because they told themselves like, listen, don't say that you're gypsies, otherwise you're gonna get killed and
Mhm.
enslaved.
Yeah.
So a lot of the kings of the gypsies had transcriptions of the Catholic Church
Mhm.
saying that they were basically converts or like priests and whatever they like,
Yeah.
and so
Well, I think
that's basically
a lot of
how
them
they
were
found their
Jews.
passage. Huh?
I think a lot of like the gypsies, I'm still doing research on it, but I think a lot of the gypsies were Jews, but they were enslaved and they forgot, like, or they knew, but they kind of like they didn't really care about keeping it. You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of them, they just got the word gypsy as like a byword because like they say like, the first people to live in ghettos were Jews, you know what I'm saying? But, it became gypsy.
Well, the word gypsy is a misnomer, but it goes back to like
Yeah,
when they, because they went to Egypt after the Babylonian captivity. A lot of them went to Egypt to take
yeah,
refuge in because they were in fear of their lives. They're like, ah, let's not go to the land. Let's go to Egypt. And so they
yeah,
hid themselves
definitely.
in Egypt, and then from there they travel eastwards to West India, North India, and so on and so forth. And a lot of the Hindu people basically said, "Oh, well, you guys are Egyptians," and that's where the
Yeah,
word
definitely.
Egypto or gypsy comes from.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I believe that. Because I see a lot of gypsies. A lot of gypsies. They look like me. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, man,
and
yeah.
stuff. So that's why I definitely believe. Gypsies, all them. Different like Pashtuns. Uyghurs. Obviously Uyghurs look a little different because obviously they're mixing with some of the people over there, but you can definitely see, that the Uyghur people, they're very oppressed. Like right now, they have a Holocaust right now, Uyghurs. Yeah, I'm saying definitely, that's Dan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Dan.
man. So yeah, man. So Dan is around, bro. But
Well, even like, you look at the history with a lot of the Greeks, a lot of, like the Ottoman Empire, like a lot of the Greeks, they would take the kids and stuff like that, and they would steal the kids when they're young, so the kids didn't know, and they would train them to fight their own people.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I know, Jessica Gonzalez. Like the thing about like a lot of the Italians, bro, they they look like Hispanic, so-called Latinos.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
want, especially like the ones from Sicily, like
Yeah,
Sicily, Italy. Like I
yeah,
had a girlfriend like back in the day, bro. I used to date this Italian woman, bro. Like she was from Sicily, and they looked like Hispanics. Same
yeah.
like
You
some
know,
of the Greeks, like same thing with some of the Greeks there too. But yeah,
they look
like
like a lot of them look like they're from the Middle East.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
saying, that's why
So
you got
yeah,
to
man.
point to it.
Yeah, and that's why we can't be like always judging like according to color. Like, oh well,
Yeah,
you
can't.
or you these and that and third. Like, no, bro, you
Well,
gotta look
people
at this.
people interbreed. People mix. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
That's why
our people
people.
have been mixed for quite some time. Salome
Yeah.
Vega, shalom, bro, shalom.
Um,
I don't know if you're just coming in or you're leaving, but welcome to live. We're about to sign out, but
yeah.
yeah, man. We can't be just going around judging people according to how they look or
Yeah, definitely.
what color of the skin is, because like our people have been mixed in for the past 3,000 plus
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
all the way until now.
Did you know
And,
like that Shemitic though? Like you can kind of see that Shemitic look though. I'm not saying every Israelite has a Shemitic look, but you can kind of see the Shemitic look. Especially you look at a lot of the Yemenite. You look at a lot of the Yemenite Jews. You know,
right, right, right.
you can definitely see it.
Facts, bro. Facts.
You know, and stuff. Yeah, but definitely Monday. What I'm saying, if you go on, definitely I'll come on the panel and stuff. I'll try to get some other people to come on too.
Right, right. Look at those shields, bro. Like again,
Yeah,
going back to the tribe of Dan, like being the Lacedaemonians, the Spartans. You know,
yeah,
so I believe the Spartans were our people, bro, and they got conquered
yeah.
by our enemies. Obviously, they had to be conquered because it was prophecy that that
Hmm.
seven see one way
Yeah,
while being persecuted by one. Obviously, we know that the what was it called, the Persians were a great military power, bro. So you
yeah.
know our people got
Well,
conquered.
no, no, they weren't conquered by the Persians. They always fought the Persians. They were never conquered. They weren't even conquered by Alexander the Great. They were still independent. They're still independent. That's why there was in the Maccabees, because that was after the time of Alexander the Great. That's when the Macedonians, they were controlling everything, right? But the
Yeah.
Spartans were still independent. But who conquered the Spartans? It was Rome. Rome
Mm,
conquered the
I never
Spartans.
read it. I never read it, bro. Is there
Yeah.
like
There's a
a
lot of man. There's a lot of history channels. There's so many history channels on YouTube, bro. Like you can just watch. Like there's I forget. I think it's like generals.
hmm
Like it's general something. Like you can see. Just look up the history of Roman conquest of Roman conquest of Greece. And the guy, he just, it's like a whole movie, and he just goes through the history, and it's just like, that's why you don't even like, reading is good. I love reading, but like sometimes, you can just watch videos, bro, and just get his, and just, and just get knowledge that way too.
Right.
You know?
144 Israelite warrior seal in the movie Conan the Barbarian, the worship the snake also. Well, the snake also symbolized wisdom too. Like Nahash
Yeah,
means wisdom
yeah,
through experience. You know what I'm saying?
it
Like cunning
does.
wisdom. And it's
Yeah.
like it's like when we read in the New Testament when Christ said like be ye wise as a serpent, right?
Hmm.
Well, the word
Yeah.
serpent it means that it means cunning wisdom.
Yeah.
Like also it's symbolizing like us renewing ourselves, like because the snakes renew their skin.
Yeah.
So being wise as serpent is us renewing ourselves, renewing our mind, not staying in a stagnant when it comes to knowledge or other things. So you know,
Represents transformation.
yeah, it represents
Also
rebirth.
represents also represents the sign Scorpio, and the sign Scorpio, it deals with the occult, the hidden, because the serpent, it can be both like the wisdom, like it represents wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. It can be both, left hand or right hand. You know what I'm saying? Depends how you use it, and depends what you go for. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? you
facts,
know
bro, facts.
Yeah, that's why,
Also,
like, the Targums explain it. I love how the Targums explain, like Targum and Jonathan. It explains like the whole Garden of Eden, like it breaks it down good.
hmm
You know.
yeah, man. So yeah, so the symbol of the snake, and it's like it's the same thing with like what's it called, Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl,
Yeah.
basically like the feather serpent, which basically feathers means the power of flight, right?
Yeah.
So which also symbolizes like a divine being.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
and then and this is why we know that Christ came on this side of the world like back in those days, because you have a lot of
Yeah.
natives, a lot of indigenous Aztecs and Mayans and
Yeah.
Incas that spoke about a prophet, some sort of prophet that visited them back in ancient times,
Mhm.
pre-colonial times, and they call him a Kulkan, they call him Quetzalcoatl, they
Definitely.
call him by various names, what symbolizing that the snake,
Yeah.
like the wise man, like the
Mhm.
sage. So yeah, it's not that they worship, but more like
Yeah.
they revere that person as a sage, as a wise man.
Yeah. Definitely. What's your thoughts
Yeah.
on the Book of Mormon?
um. I mean, I haven't read the whole thing, but like the parts where it talks about the Native Americans being Israelites. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, Jose Vega has
Yeah.
brought that out to
Yeah.
even point out like you have what 15 million Mormons that believe that Native Americans are Israelites. So you have 50 million people believing that the Native Americans are Israelites. So I mean that's a good thing.
16 million.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well 60 million. So yeah. So yeah, man. So I mean, I haven't read the whole thing. I mean, I only go on some of the things. For example, the book of Nephi, chapter 5, verse 21,
Yeah.
when it talks
Yeah.
about the whole thing about curse. Black is basically a curse, which is completely off. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be true. I mean, it could be not.
Yeah.
And then it
Well,
goes
you
with
already know how the Israelites looked like. Just look at the Shah Su and Kemet in the walls of Egypt.
yeah,
And you already look how, like, that's why I believe, like, me personally, like, I believe, like it's not good to be too white, and it's not good to be too black. Yeah, I'm saying,
yeah, yeah.
you know, and stuff.
Um, going back to so who was in the Garden of Eden? I believe the Canaanites, bro. The Canaanites are also part of the are part of the that proud individuals, bro.
Mhm.
That
Yeah, that
basically
spirit.
yeah, they wanted to take over the Mosai. Like literally,
So,
like they rebel against the Mosai, so that's why they're also called snakes.
well, I
But
would say to him, look in Targum, Jonathan, because into Targum, Jonathan, he says that the serpent was Samuel. Samuel. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, some Yasan, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it was a fall. It was like it was a fallen angel.
An angel,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, fallen
Yeah,
angel. So like that's what the Targums say. But when it says like it compares like the king of Tyre to this, like I feel like it's not saying literally like the king of Tyre was like I heard that breakdown before, but I don't believe like it was actually he's actually the king of he was actually the serpent. No, I believe that he had the spirit of the serpent. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like when
yeah,
somebody says you have a similar spirit to that, like they have a similar spirit to the serpent. You
right.
know,
Yeah,
especially like
so
in voodoo, they worship the snake, like Dambala. They worship a lot of those serpent gods.
right, right. I mean, who knows, bro? Like, I mean, it could
Mm.
be true, but whether or not the Canaanites were basically the angelic fallen ones or whatever the like,
Yeah, the
and it's
Horites.
yeah, and is
The
why the
Horites.
most told us to like completely destroy them all because they were doing
Yeah.
genetic experiments back in those days, even
Hmm.
during times of Joshua, bro. I mean, we know that a lot of the Canaanites established themselves near Hermon, bro. You have
Yeah.
a lot of like Sidon, Tyre, all
Yeah.
those places. They're
Yeah.
close to Hermon. Well, Hermon
Yeah.
is basically the mountain where a lot of these 200 watchers or Nephilim or the Anunnaki
Yeah.
basically fell down, and they took a council among themselves to completely, they wanted to destroy humanity, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. So you
Definitely.
have a lot of these Canaanites that most likely had like some sort of spirit or vibration of the Nephilim,
Yeah,
right?
they do.
Is why they were doing like genetic experiments like during the times of Joshua in the book of Numbers. What is it, chapter
Yeah.
33, when it talks about we saw the sons of Anak that come from the Nephilim, the Nephal, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, uh, I don't know. Verse 13, Ezekiel 20:13, it says, "Thou hast been in in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, the topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, and the sapphire, the emerald, so on and so forth." Verse 14, "Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire." So the whole thing about is like the whole vibration of the Sidonians, the Tyrians, the Canaanites that we read in the book of Ezekiel 20:28, right?
Mm.
So where is it at? Verse 16, it says, "By the multitude of thy merchandise they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee a covering cherub from the midst of the stones of fire. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings." And the whole thing about "I will lay thee before kings," that means Canaan, which means to bow the knee, to be
Yeah.
brought low. So it says that they may be holy. See, so they were
Mhm.
brought to be the lowest of the lowest, like
Yeah.
whether they were basically like divine beings that inhabited the Garden of Eden, they were anointed cherubs, or that was referring to the spirit of vibration of the Canaanites that also
Yeah.
carry the spirit of the cherubs that basically rebel against the Most High. So
Yeah.
it could be one of those two, bro. But the whole
Yeah.
point is that the Canaanites carry the vibration
Yeah. Definitely.
of the ancient Nephilim, bro.
Yeah.
And they're proud, and they wanted to be like gods. They wanted to be like
Yeah.
in the throne of God. All the pride, all the wisdom that they
Now they
have.
want to be the Israelites.
Yeah, now they want to be the Israelites. Now they want to be
Because
Native
we're the
Americans.
children of
They
the
want,
most. Because in was it Exodus? It says, Israel is my firstborn son. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So that's why they want to be Israel. You know,
right.
and stuff.
Yeah,
They
man.
want to bring
See, and the
that
great
one
dragon
verse.
was thrown down, the serpent of old, who's called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world, was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were the. Yeah, I know the scripture, bro. And when you read verse 1, it's basically like the astrology symbolism behind the astronomical alignments of the heavens, which is you know connected to the tribes, like the
Mhm.
collective awakening of the tribes today.
Yeah.
Beginning of the Roman Empire, when like you have like the Romans were persecuting the saints. Like the Greeks and the Romans were persecuting the saints. Well, the Greeks and the Romans were also symbolized like a great dragon, even the next chapter, chapter 13, it tells you that the dragon and the serpent gave its power and dominion to the beast. Well, the beast is symbolized as like the leper of the Greeks, and the fourth beast that we read of in the book of Daniel. So
Yeah.
the fourth beast that is made up of the rest of the previous kingdoms is to whom was given the power and dominion by the devil, by the ancient serpent, is why
Yeah.
they're ruling today,
Hmm.
even until now. Like you have like the two legs of the Roman Empire. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like the 10 toes of the Roman Empire, which is made up of clay and iron,
But you
which is
still
the
got
the
the
mixture
Pope.
of all the rest of the kingdoms into these last one.
Mhm.
So it's all connected, bro.
No, everything is the Pope, the Queen, you know what
Maybe I
I'm
should do a
saying?
class
All
on
them.
that one of these days too. But
Yeah. Well, the Pope, the Queen, they're all of the same bloodline. The Rothschilds are all of Amalek.
anyway, we're gonna close out. We're gonna close shop.
All right. Shalom Shabbat. The Most High bless you.
So, so
Shabbat. Shalom Shabbat. May the Most High be with you. Hallelujah.
Yeah. All right, everybody, man. Once again, this is the Ancient Watchman. We're gonna sign out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. You guys have a great night. Once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we're on Facebook, Guardians of Truth. Don't forget to join the group, bro. We encourage brothers to post and whatever they like. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And once again, the whole idea behind the Shabbat is us learning how to enter into true rest, right? True rest, which is what we went through earlier, right? The whole thing, the whole idea behind the word Shalom or Shalom, being able to be, in a cathedral of time in which we are able to find rest, or true Shalom, which means to crush and destroy the voice of authority that is causing chaos, confusion, and death within your minds, right? That's what it means to have shalom, right? To, dwell in the little sanctuaries that the Most High gave us to dwell in, these little uh, time capsules, right? In which we're able to find rest, right? That's the true shalom. That's the true Shabbat that brothers should be aspiring to acquire and experience, right? The true shalom, the true rest of the mind, right? Pushing aside all the chaos and the authority that is causing all this confusion in our minds and so on and so forth. So, shalom, everybody. You guys have a great night. We'll see you on Monday night smoke. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Shalom, shalom, everybody. You guys have a great night. Yeah, none of them wanna. They don't want none of the smoke, bro. They're afraid. They're they're in checkmate right now. It's checkmate, bro. It's checkmate for all of them. It's checkmate for One West. It's been checkmate for quite some time, so that's why they'll be running. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Jeremiah Yashraal, aka the Philistine Slayer, for all the work that he's done on his debate. Shout out to Jose Vega also. Obviously, you brothers know Jose Vega was gonna do a preliminary debate in the Lions Den. Obviously, you have I don't know if they were running from Jose Vega or they were hiding, but you brothers know what's going on. You know what time it is. So, shalom, everybody. You guys have a great night. We'll see you around.